Hey guys, how are you? Sorry I'm a little late. Come on in whenever you are ready. And if you don't come, I will just talk to the screen like I normally do. But hello, hello, hello to the Dopest Nerd family. How you doing? Today we are talking about the Kendrick bombshell. I had a lot to say about it. I wanted to see what people thought. I wanted to give people a chance to air out what they thought about it. And I've seen a lot of feedback. And I have to say, I am so proud of some people and I am so utterly disappointed at others. I think as adults, we need to grow up. It's time we can see by these dire times. You're like the little half up, half down with the. In these dire times, hello, the Black Barbie. How are you, my love? And all of the people in the nosebleeds. Shout out to the nerd herd. Come on in. You guys know the routines. Walk in, take your shoes off at the door, grab your fuzzy socks. Hey, Carla, make sure that you leave your shoes by the door, jump on the couch, make yourself at home. We're family. Let's talk about it. Lot going on, lot going on. Shout out to Miss I. How you doing? Lot going on with this Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl performance. Shout out to the entire Nerd Herd family. Essie Thompson. Hey, boo. Hey. Hey, Mocha B. Hey, Lisa Bruno. Shout out to you guys. I wanted to discuss this amazing performance. So the country is divided, and Kendrick knew that, and he preemptively added that to his show. Shout out to everybody: Sharon, Keisha, Crooks Crates, Cooks Crates, Sassy Cassie, everybody. Shout out to you guys. I want to know what you think. Where's your feedback? Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you so much. I want to know what you guys think. Come on in. Oh, good. I'm very happy and interested to see what Professor Griff had to say too. But let me just tell you how brilliant our boy Kendrick is and how deep this goes. It is absolutely not simply just about what people think it is. It's not some superficial beef with Drake. It is far deeper. And we need to know this. We need to have these in depth discussions on anything. First, when you guys come in, you know the routine. Throw up the likes so that the algorithm knows we're doing something here. We're trying to grow the channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Those of you who are watching who are not yet subscribed, we appreciate you being here. However, if you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and throw that thumbs up, it will help the channel grow and I can be able to do way more of these shows and bring you guys this thought-provoking, fresh perspective on YouTube, fresh perspective on these topics. So I'm in my little granny mood today. I feel like I got my sweater on in the house. One of my Drip Militia shirts. Welcome to Queens. I didn't come here, I'm from here. Drip Militia. I'm not from Queens, however, I represent the entire tri-state area, certainly all the boroughs, 5 boroughs of New York City. Whose birthday is it? Oh, Sharon. Happy birthday, Sharon. I have to go on and give you, I'm glad you got your bell notification. And I have to go on and give you your birthday wishes right in the community thing. Locke actually was supposed to send me that stuff, but I think she's probably been a little busy. She's going to jump on whenever she sees it. We're in different time zones, so that impacts. Shout out to Brooklyn, Tasha T. What up, boo? Hey, Lisa. Hey, everybody. So let's get into this Kendrick affair. By now, most of you have seen the halftime show. I did not watch the Super Bowl. However, I did tap in for the halftime show. I got a teenager in here. She was going to do it either way. So we sat down and we watched it. I was very interested to see Kendrick's take. And what a brilliant display of ingenuity, wisdom, maturity that he put. I'm talking every single facet. Let me open my phone too, because I jotted down a few notes. Don't want to forget things. I can go off on a tangent at times. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Anyway, first and foremost, the American flag. Now, no, prior to me saying first and foremost, the American flag, first and foremost, the division in the country. There are I'm sure you guys have seen them by now. There's a lot of video clips out there where people are like, oh, wow, this is great. Kendrick is bodying this. And then there are others like, what is this? Is this supposed to be good? What does it all mean? This is the worst Super Bowl show I've ever seen. Well, needless to say, it's not shocking that the country is divided along racial lines. And that's why I put, not only are they not like us, they don't know us. Because guess what? Guess the silver lining. Let me start from the back. Guess what the silver lining of this is? All of the people who think they got us pegged to the right and they think they know us hook, line, and sinker, inside out, upside down, and all points in between, proved through a Super Bowl halftime show that they don't know us at all. Don't y'all love my little giggle? They don't know us at all. They think they know so much about us. If they knew so much about us, they would have had the wisdom, the eyes to see and the ears to hear everything that he was saying. Shout out to Gil Scott Heron. Brother, the revolution will be televised. Hope you resting peacefully in the ether wherever your spirit finds itself today. All of the people who swear they know us so well don't know us at all. Not only are they not like us, they don't know us. Now, of course, there are, and it illustrated very clearly that this country and this world still has a massive race problem. Massive race problem. But Kendrick thought it not robbery to so eloquently display that in his show. Hence the American flag. Did you notice the white people dressed in white in the middle of the American flag? What do you think that represented? I heard people say the Crips and the Blood. No, that represented the division in the United States of America between the left and the right, the Republicans and the Democrats, the Thuglukins and the Democrats, the Crips and the Bloods, Pepsi and Coke, everybody. It represented the, listen, that Say Drake with the smile. Oh, chef's kiss. The most diabolical of diabolical. And most people think he did that as a thumbing his nose to Drake, but it was so much deeper. He did that because, a little backstory for those who don't know, there was a rapper named XXXTentacion, very eclectic, deep, otherworldly, mature young man, wise beyond his time. Probably was too good for this world. Not by any means perfect, not perfect by any means, but we have to be able to discern with our spirit and our third eye people who are among us that are far more worldly and wise than their age. XXXTentacion was one of those. If you were not a listener of his music, and I wasn't a major listener of his music, but I watched that young man talk. That young man was what, and I watched some of his videos and his music because I knew he had a message and I needed to hear it. And boy, oh boy, he was far more wise than this world could have imagined. Listen, he was too much for this world. He was too much. And he was very wise. And there is a certain champagne poppy, shall we say? Let me just preface this by saying this is all based on my opinion and belief, freedom of speech, right to freedom of speech, First Amendment, yada, yada. Although with the way things are going in this country, which, yeah, boy, it's the greatest of all time. We're going to see how long the Bill of Rights lasts. But XXXTentacion was such an amazing, yes, honey, peekaboo was to Drake about XXXTentacion. They got into beef, or shall I say, Drake got into beef with him, perhaps because Drake must have thought he wasn't a formidable opponent. He thought this erstwhile, cerebral gentleman, I don't have to worry about him. He wouldn't, let's say, challenge one of the thuggish, ruggish bones in the industry, but he thought XXX was a pushover. And so he came at him, and they got into a lot of beef. And the conventional theory of record, especially according to the young men who actually fulfilled the assassination on XXX Tentacion and have said irrefutably it was at the behest of Drake. Not only did they say and allege that it was at the behest of Drake, Drake has dropped all type of non sequitur little tidbits and nuggets in his music bragging about it. Because that's what happens when you think you got away. He did steal a song from, he didn't steal an entire song. He stole a portion of a song from him and used it in his song. But that's Drake. Drake steals everybody's song. A lot of people try to come against Soldier Boy when he was like, Drake, but he wasn't wrong and he wasn't lying. That whole Soldier Boy up in this, hey, and when Drake took it, Drizzy Drake up in that play, what happened? And he took that from Soldier Boy. And listen, whether you like Soldier Boy or not, you have to give him his credit. Soldier Boy is the reason that we know the internet like we know it. That young man was wise behind his years, wise beyond his years. And we know the internet as this, in this landscape as we know it, because of Soldier Boy, the likes of Soldier Boy. You could play if you want to, I'll break it down. He was so brilliant. Back when we had, before a lot of y'all that are watching, LimeWire. Who remembers LimeWire and MySpace? Soldier Boy was so smart. He was such a troll before the early days of music, back with LimeWire and MySpace. When you go on LimeWire or MySpace and see something like, let's say, Reba McBride or something like that. I know I'm mixing two people together, Reba McEntire and Carla McBride or whatever her first name is. Let's say you saw that, or Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. You clicked on the link so you could hear the song, and every song, no matter whose name was on it, it was Soldier Boy. And Napster. Come on, Kim. Tell the people. Do y'all remember that? Back when they used to tell us. One moment. My sons love me so much. Give me a moment. He always calls when I'm live. Sorry, guys. You know, when you're a good mommy, they always keep calling and talking to you. And I love that. I just love, my sons are adults. They're in their 30s. They're grown men. And they always like, hey, mom, hey, mom, hey, mom. We have an amazing, y'all hear them ghost footsteps upstairs still? Child, it's taken all of me to be able to get back to my natural comfort in my house. But, you know, I'm not all the way there, but I'm there. Yes, so you remember Napster, LimeWire, and MySpace, where they used to threaten you that if you downloaded copywritten music, you will go to jail. And you had mothers that used to walk in their kids' room, don't y'all be downloading them songs. I ain't going to jail. I used to do it with my sons. I'd be like, y'all better not download no stuff and have these people come to my house to get me so I can go to jail over some songs I don't listen to. Y'all remember that? Yep. Your brother was burning so many CDs on Napster. You was terrified that the federal government was going to come and arrest you. Y'all young people, y'all don't even know about that, because everything is take it as you choose. And so piracy, they used to say, yes, piracy, honey. And now they're the biggest pirates, which is why they create terms like this. I want y'all to know they create terms like don't be a music pirate, because they are the true music pirates. And what they're saying is, I don't want y'all stealing all the music, because what will we have to steal? That's the real long and short of it. That's what it is. However, what you said, scared but sold CDs at school for $5. Listen, my son used to pray. I remember he was like, "Ma, bring me some CDs," and they used to sell them in that little pack. And then I went and bought him this mega stack of CDs. I think I listen. Y'all want to hear a joke? I think I probably got a stack of CDs, one of them mega stacks, still in the garage. Okay, from back then, because he asked for CDs, and I just don't throw things out. But anyway, and I told myself, "Oh, I'll make an art project with it." But anyway, Mr. Soldier Boy was so brilliant at 14, 15 when he was out there. You, Soldier Boy, business, how was happening? Not what's happening, what's happening. Soldier Boy thought, he was like, how can I get my song to everybody? So he would list his song and list it as Soldier Boy. But remember, he was new and up and coming. And so he would put it under Superman, but he would list it under and back then you got paid, I think it was like 15 cents a click. Soldier Boy listed his song under the name Britney Spears, New Edition, whoever was big, whoever was out. It could have been Fall Out Boy. It could have been Good Charlotte. He listed his song Superman under everybody's name. And so every time you clicked on a song, it was Soldier Boy. This sucker went rich, became rich instantly. And that part, Hey Boo, that part of his song, Drake stole it. But if you look at the history of Drake, Drake takes a snippet of everybody's song. Drake is, remember we did a vocabulary lesson the other day, guys, and the word of the day was colonizer. Drake is a colonizer. And that's why people in hip hop don't like him, because he is a big fat baby and he is Columbusing. Drake did not grow up. We know Drake is biracial. We know Drake is biracial. We know. Phenotypically, he looks like a light-skinned black guy. However, culturally, he was not an African-American boy. He was a Canadian, Afro-Canadian. Oh, look, no, let's correct it. No, we're not talking about phenotype. We're talking about culture. Drake grew up as a Jewish Canadian boy. No disrespect. I grew up in an African-American, Afro-Caribbean community, Afro-Latino community that has a sub-community within our community called the Hasidic Jewish community. It's smack dab in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, in the middle of this big mosaic community with people from all walks. By the time I was 10, I knew people from at least 20 different countries. By the time I was 10, okay? 20 different nationalities. However, they have a sub-community within our community, and they keep themselves very separate. They don't interact with us, only if they have to. Only if they have to. They have every right to live like that if that's how they choose to live. We see them. We had to get off all these days in school for Jewish holidays. They didn't get off for no black holiday. I never seen one of them out at, Black Solidarity Day or Martin Luther King Day, nothing. But we got off for their holidays. Let's just say it what it is. Drake grew up in Canada in an affluent white community, Jewish boy. He did his bar mitzvah. All of that. Drake did not grow up in a black community. He didn't. He has been, now his father is black from Detroit, and those of you who are geographically intact, you know how close Detroit is to Canada. That's how that happened. His mama was out. She down with the swirl. She probably was like, oh, tall, dark, and handsome. Okay, boo. And y'all know about the birds and the bees. I don't have to tell you about those insects. So, anywho, he did not grow up with his father. His father was other side of the tracks. Yes, Aubrey. Let's call him what his name is. Aubrey. Aubrey grew up having his bar mitzvah and going to temple and going to Yiddish school and all of that. He didn't grow up in the black side. Now, I do know that there was a time when he was, let's see. He visited his dad. You know, oh, your dad's coming to pick you up this weekend. You sitting at the window looking. Yep, he got the same thing too. He didn't really grow up with black people. No. But he looked from over yonder. There was a time where he would go to Detroit and visit his dad ever so often. Not with, it's not like, the people in New York, every summer, everybody went down south to their family, or if you're Caribbean, everybody went back home to the Caribbean to your family, while your mother and parents did what they did here. They had some time off. They took an extra job over the summer, whatever. We all went to see our people. His wasn't a regular thing. His was indiscriminate. So on the few occasions where he went and visited with his father, he got to audit black culture. Audit, because he wasn't immersed. He got to audit. He was the corny boy. He was Aubrey. He was Jimmy, minus the wheelchair, from Degrassi when he was visiting Detroit. So just know, he wasn't all up and through. He wasn't in the streets. He wasn't running. No, he wasn't on 8 Mile. And no, he wasn't. But he got to look. Sure, he had a couple of cousins, and they was like, "You are a cousin?" Okay. All right. He got his black culture from MTV like everybody else did, all the other kids in the suburbs. So what he did was, he was mocking, or shall we say, Columbusing. He put on black culture like a costume. If you got a job, a summer job or an after school job, and you're a teenager in a certain town and you work at the party store, and so you have to put on the big pig head, or the furry costume, you got to be Little Red Riding Hood at the kids party, that type of stuff. That's exactly how he put on his black culture. Call it what it is: culture vulturism, Columbusing, discovering something, sticking your flag and say, hey, there's this lovely melodic iambic pentameter where people rhyme words to music and it sounds so melodic. I think I'll do this too. That was his foray. Cause baby, Jimmy in the wheelchair on Degrassi ain't even have a lineup, honey. That thing was Eddie Munster. He had the widow's peak. Yes, I wanna be. So he was never really in the culture. He just audited it from a distance. You know how if you want to go to a school and you're like, how do I know I like the school? I don't know if it will comport with my lifestyle and what I want. And they say, hey, audit a few classes. I mean, you come and sit in and watch. You might answer a question or two, but guess what? You don't get no credit. You don't get anything from it. You just watching. You peeping to see if it fits with you. And that's what he did. He audited black culture. And then he realized, because he got a good education and he learned about them similes and those metaphors and all that stuff, so he could construct a song, because all you have to do is listen. If you're musically inclined, you can play by ear. You can also mimic by ear. And so he was able to mimic, and because he got a great education, I'm sure he got a great education at the Yiddish school, he understood verb-subject agreement, similes, metaphors, he could construct a song. I ain't gonna take it from the boy now. He can make a song, but he always takes people's stuff. We knew he was a whiny brat from the get-go because he was in love with everybody. He was in love with Rihanna. He was in love with Serena. He's in love with everybody. I'm so in love. She's the best thing in my life. Don't leave me. Oh, she left me broken heart. He's a cornball. We knew it from the get-go. We knew he was a whiny brat from the get-go. He whined, what about me? In the early days of rap, when he came in. What about me? When and I remember he was being interviewed by somebody and they said, you know what you need? I think it might have been, what's her name from New York? I can't remember her name. Latina from Hot 97. I don't know why her name is slipping me. I'm getting old, guys. Anyway, Angie Martinez, somebody, I think it was Angie Martinez. She said, you know what you need? You need a good hip hop beef. And he was even complaining about that. What about me? They're talking about the greatest. Nobody's mentioning my name. What's going on, guys? He was a whiny brat, and people couldn't stand him back then because of that. And he really invited Kendrick on tour with him. He brought Kendrick on tour with him in the early days. You know why him and Kendrick got beef? Because he was an obnoxious, pretentious, entitled brat. And Kendrick was on tour with him and got to see it firsthand. Remember, he was doing it for the love of the culture. I don't think, while everybody wants money from what they do, I think everybody can agree. For Kendrick, this is far bigger. For Kendrick and other people. Hey guys, hey fam. For Kendrick and the likes of the Tupac, the Biggies, the most pivotal, the what's my boy name? This is America. Childish Gambino. There are certain rappers that come along and you say, this is something different. They want money, but they not all, you can see they're not moved by money. They're not motivated. They are in it for the love of the culture. I mean, for God's sakes, our boy Kendrick, our man Kendrick has a Pulitzer Prize. Okay? There are classes in universities that teach Biggie Smalls, and this has been forever. If I'm not mistaken, there was a class at Harvard that teach Biggie's iambic pentameter, because his ability to rap to music and then modulate his style multiple times in one song was equated to the likes of Miles Davis or Coltrane, a mastery. They said the rhythmic ability to modulate his tone and his style mid-song on a whim is equivalent to listening to the jazz greats. Coltrane, classical jazz, the likes of everybody, all of the greats. There's a class that studies Biggie's skill. I'm talking, they have a computer model that shows how he switches and the only time I've ever seen it was with jazz, and that was just with classical instrumentation, not verbal. And that's why they made it a class, because they're like, yo, this is different. Listen, baby, Chris Jack, teacher, you get the gold star for the day, baby. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a Gemini too, sis. Those are my peoples. Biggie, Miles Davis, Tupac, your girl, the dopest nerd. All Geminis, honey. Our brains are working more fast than we could ever imagine. When somebody is on here, we down the block. We down the block. Oh, y'all was studying Hillman Talk? Proud of y'all. Proud of y'all. Listen here. Something spectacular. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl was the most watched Super Bowl halftime show. Not the Super Bowl. Halftime show in the history of the world. Okay. He thought it not robbery to add thinking to it. You have got to be one of the bravest souls ever to be on the People TV and say, turn that TV off, turn the TV off. You got all these people. We already know the They Not Like Us crew, the MAGA crew, the colonizers. Like I said, remember our vocabulary word, not white people, colonizers. Okay? People who want to impose their will over individuals or a group of people for the sole purposes of subjugating them and compromising their ability to access education, resources, power, money, jobs, stability, quality healthcare, quality food, safe places to live, and the likes. The list goes on. The colonizers hated it. What is this? What is this halftime show? This is the worst I've ever seen. You know what it proved to me, beyond a shadow of a doubt? They think they know everything about Black people. They don't know one single thing about us. Nothing. Nothing. They don't know nothing. They couldn't even comprehend that this man was giving a lesson. The capacity of their brain couldn't even imagine that this was a double entendre. Listen, baby, your girl loves a double entendre, honey. Oh, whoa, whoa. You know I'm a nerd, honey. I love double entendres. Mwah, chef's kiss. I love them. I will have to call my aunt back. I love a double entendre. Nothing beats it. Say one thing, mean another. Ha! A secret message right in your face. With Uncle Sam, a.k.a. Samuel L. Jackson, a.k.a. Steven from Django. You best get in your line. Don't you do what them people don't say. You better keep it good. Don't be ghetto. Don't be loud. Right in their face, and they couldn't see it. You know how black, and then our black people, hold on, y'all come together. Let me take a picture. Y'all slide in. Yeah, the ones that said it wasn't entertaining. Get together, let me take a picture so I can slap y'all. What's wrong with y'all? In these dire times, y'all still want to be entertained? Baby, entertained? It's time to get educated. Y'all sitting out here, I don't understand. I thought it was corny. It was what? It was what? Nobody have to understand when somebody clapping them booty cheeks on you. You know 100% what that mean, don't you? You ain't ashamed of yourself yet? When are y'all gonna be ashamed? You can't read between the proverbial lines. This man used human bodies strategically colored in specific colors to make the American flag and show the white line down the middle, which was the division in the country. You had Uncle Sam, which was solely a propaganda tool for the United States of America to bully people, to make them feel like you better go send your son to war. You are fighting for your neighbors and your Miss Johnny down the road and Becky Sue over there. Go fight the war. It's patriotic. Love your country, America first. They had Django. They had Steven from Django, Uncle Sam, all propaganda in this black man's ear, telling him, you better do what them folks say. Don't you come out here and act up now. You better stay in line. And y'all was sitting there waiting for the booty clapping. Ooh, if somebody was, how many years y'all need somebody with their whole crotch? First of all, no judgment. We listen and we do not judge. We listen and we do not judge. How many times can a woman come in front of the TV with her whole crotch in the TV? Where is the modesty? You somebody's wife. You are somebody's mother. You got to put your crotch in the TV every time. You got to gyrate your pelvic. We don't know how to dance without gyrating your crotch and your backside in the camera. My God, you somebody's wife, mother even. Where is the modesty of women? Now, twerking, I will say something, a different thing about twerking. There are a lot of people who don't know the origins of twerking. Your girl, the dopest nerd, will share with you. The origins of twerking is an African cultural dance called mapuka. And here's the deal. Even the ones who don't know that twerking is connected to mapuka twerk because guess what? It's indelibly marked in our DNA. It's in your DNA. See, what's happening is the veil is lifted. The seals are broken, and everything that is rightfully ours that was stolen from us culturally is encoded in our DNA. So all them chicks out there that's twerking, they think they twerking for one thing. Do you know mapuka in Africa is considered the highest form of reverence and revelry to God? When they do the cultural dances, the women will get together and they twerking in mapuka, and not with their butt cheeks out. They covered. They got on their traditional garbs, but the act of that gyration, and usually they're bowed. It is the highest form of revelry to God. You don't believe me? Look it up. Mapuka. Look it up. Listen. But if they was twerking for the sole purposes of entertainment, oh, everybody would be all, oh, yeah, we like when black women fetishize themselves for our visual gratification so we can look at their crotches and their backsides and take in their essence and harvest their energy. Enough. You know, old people used to say, oh God, cover your backside now. I will never hit a number if I have to see your backside all the time. What on earth? Yes, baby Chris, put that mapuka in there. Let them know. See, I'm always educate the masses. Your girl just knows a lot of stuff. God chose me. What can I say? Thank you, Father God. What can I say? He imbued me with all this information. It's my duty to share. It would get pretty darn crowded in this head if I didn't share. Let me open up my list. Because you know your girl don't be wanting to forget. So many messages. When they laid down, they laid down to display all of the lost Black bodies at the hands of this country on the stage. Not only was the stage designed like a PlayStation controller to signify we need to stop playing ourselves because the system is already playing us. Woo! You know how dope you got to be to sit down and say, let me give a visual Thanksgiving dinner and a mental Thanksgiving dinner to my folks. Let me feed them. Let me open the eyes of the blind, fill the ears of the deaf with majestic tunes so that they can, and words to free their minds and free them, honey. Honey. Symbolic like you wouldn't believe. Honey, so symbolic. Where's my list, child? Where my list at? Because you know I be writing lists because, you know, what can I say? I'm a spirited conversationalist. I don't want to have to go on a tangent and forget. So I make sure I construct my stuff. Where you at, listy, listy, listy? Here, listy, listy. Let's see, child. I do so much during a day you wouldn't believe. While I'm looking, you guys talk amongst yourself. Or perhaps it's in my other phone. You know, I'm always working between two phones. Three, really, but these two main ones. Yeah, let me see what you guys saying in the. Oh, people said that the X was for Malcolm X. No, I really think it was for XXXTentacion. He's trolling Drake. That's why when he was walking, so the bell bottoms, let's just go to the bell bottoms. Let me talk off the top of the dome. The bell bottoms signified when Black people were a Black power movement in the 70s during what is widely known as the Blaxploitation era, but when Black people were militant 60s and 70s, that they wore those bell bottoms. The bell bottoms were, now they were designer bell bottoms, darling. They were like about $3,800, but yes, they were very expensive. However, I could be wrong on the price, but they were expensive. But it was hearkening to the days of when we wore bell bottoms and we were in that militant Black power thing. Also, we can't leave out the lovely chain, the diamond encrusted, the lovely chain, the A minor chain. First of all, that they allowed him to really, yeah, the jeans were, the bell bottoms harken back to the Black power movement. And he referenced something from the Black power movement. The revolution will be televised. He said, you picked the wrong time, the wrong guy, but the right time. Whew, you picked the wrong guy, Trump. And Trump was in the house. You know how brave you are to say y'all picked the wrong guy while he's there? Ooh, child. He had the lovely A minor chain on to remind you, in case you don't know, in case they beeped it out which they did not beep it out. They let him say it. But he sure had that A minor on, because when they said, say Drake, that sucker, say Drake, that sucker turned to the camera and smiled. I was like, ooh, yes, tear him down. What he's doing is he's trolling Drake because the guy who performed the hit on XXXTentacion was in jail, and guess who he bucked up on in jail? Kodak. And Kodak Black and Kendrick have a relationship. And Kodak told him, this guy said Drake hired them. In the discovery, in the case for him, for the three guys that were responsible for XXXTentacion's unaliving, his attorney, he told his attorney, and they put in the discovery that Drake hired them to do it. The judge struck Drake's name from the case. Why? You spreading enough money around to hit judges and all. We know they crooked. I got a whole list of stories. I got a list of story of a judge who was put off the bench, debenched over a decade ago for illegal activity, fixing tickets and doing all type of scams. He worked his way back to the bench, got back in good graces, came up on the bench for a number of years doing judicial work again. And guess what? They done caught this sucker again, fixing tickets, all types of stuff. He is now banned for life. We know they take payoffs. We know they do dirt. Now, we're not going to, anybody try to tell you otherwise is a fool and a liar. But I like to weave the thing. So when he informed Kendrick of the fact that Drake hired them to do the hit on XXX, and he knows based on Drake's lyrics in some of his songs, he is trolling him, like letting him know, oh, I know what you did, and I'm gonna make sure you pay for that. So that's what a lot of this is. What looks like just, and then Drake kept trying to thumb his nose because he thinks he knows everybody's business. I don't know if y'all, listen, there's a whole lot of stuff. Some of it leaves a bad taste in the mouth. The theory is, this is in my opinion and belief, and what the folks say, what the streets say. Have you ever seen the disabled man in the little wheelchair? He's a very small man. He has a disorder that gives him a very diminutive stature, and his tongue hangs out his mouth a lot, and he has like a oral fixation sucking disorder. I'm sure you've probably seen him before. Google it. Connected to Drake. And there's this hotel that's supposed to be a very eclectic highbrow hotel that people go to when they want to do their quote unquote freak offs, and it is not really accessible to the average citizen, and it's extremely important. There is some sort of scandal connected. I don't know if you saw when they were battling, and he put the album cover, and he put I think it was a glove and medicine bottle and all that stuff. baby, all those little things Kendrick put out there, it wasn't for naught. This is what the streets say. This is not the dopest nerd saying. The dopest nerd is just repeating. The streets say that medicine bottle was for, let's say, real estate purposes in other houses in Virginia. It was issued by the same sketchy Dr. Farzam was the name on the bottle, left a medicine in the hotel by accident, a briefcase, and let's say a lot of sketchy things, okay? Sketch. So every time he got people out there in the street, when you got beef with somebody, you spread your dollars around so the folks on the street level know, y'all get some information. Hook a brother up, I got you. If you find something vital, hook a brother up, I got you. And so people do that back and forth. Baby, Drake lied and said he don't have no kid. He did that with the first one. He did that with the son. I ain't got no son, and then he had a son. Maybe because he expected the son to come out like with a solid, kinky afro and melanated. No. And then he wasn't particularly happy. Oh, yes, Cook's Crates, they do. You are 100% right, Boo. They all have houses in Virginia. But I digress. And so he was trolling him on that. He is super creepy. There's a picture out there on the internet about Drake with a young girl in, what is this place called? Dave and Buster's, where he's all up in the little girl's face. She was about 15, 16. He dates young girls. That's what the street, according to the streets. According to the streets and the internet. Listen, not the least of which is, remember he was obsessed with Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things? She was a little girl. Why are you hanging out with this little girl? There's another picture my daughter told me she saw with him kissing, I forget who it was, but she was a girl. She was a young girl. I'm talking mouth to mouth resuscitation kissing, tongue all down your throat. Why? What is your obsession? And I'm telling you, I'm not going to say stalk. They were kicking it. They were interacting. He stalked her, but she wasn't not stalking back or whatever. You know, in the industry, and here's the deal. She's a child. She's a child. She is not to be held. Yeah, arcade place. Why is a grown man in his 30s hanging out at the arcade? Remember when he did the little clip hairstyle, almost like this, with the two clips and then the little things. Why you want to be a teenage girl, Drake? Like, it's a lot going on with this fella. He's always in love with everybody. Typical, this dude got 13 kids. And why he got 13 kids? Because he's trying to hide from everybody that maybe he's not so much into women. And so you got to hit and run unprotected. You end up getting caught out there. Next, hit and run unprotected. And so the kids become a beard, so to speak. So no one questions your preferences. Let's call them that. But there's some stuff going on. Even BBL Drizzy was a double entendre. He was trying to make it appear that he pays for a lot of BBLs. But people were saying he got a BBL. The streets, not me. I'm just repeating. I don't know. The streets say. I just repeat what the streets say. And then he got to this point. Now, you paid according to the streets, upon my opinion and belief, just repeating what the streets and the internet and the bloggers say. You paid for the hit on XXXTentacion, and you're trying to hide behind your money. Meanwhile, Pookie, Man, and Fuquan up in jail doing a bid for what you wanted to do. And they took him out in a most vicious way, because you be tracking folks, the streets say. You got the money, the power, the access, and you be tracking folks. He made one mistake of showing himself going out to purchase this, I think it was a water bike or whatever, motorcycle, something. And because you're a stalker, you sent them folks right behind him. So messed up. Well, Kendrick's not going to let you forget it. He's going to make sure that you're held accountable for it. Yeah, the fake girlfriends. And listen, then when they were beefing in the best rap battle in the history of rap battles, I don't care what nobody say, the best rap battle ever. And when he finally eviscerated the time that they were dropping new diss records was bar none. People were at the edge of their seats. And listen, I'm a friendly, kinder, gentler person. I don't like beef. I like people to get along. Can't we all just get along? Can't we? Well, like I said, it's not me. I'm just saying what the streets say. You were so in your feelings, you were willing to take people off of this earth. It seems you think you're God. Well, there are lots of people that have been the target of your, what about me? Why isn't anybody talking about me? And Kendrick was able to see the fan and ban that you were. I don't need to tell you guys what those acronyms stand for. Fan and a ban. Um, and you proved it. And the minute everybody said you were a not true, if you get into a rap beef and you get into throwing diss tracks back and forth, whoever's the winner, you have to take it. Just like when Jay-Z and Nas got into their beef, and Jay-Z went to the low of lows because he low. He liked to go low. He liked to go low. His mother even said, nah, son, you went too low. Go back and apologize. He had to go on Hot 97 and apologize when he said that he in your baby car seat. Too low, too low, too low. But you know, look what's happening with him now. It's all coming out. When you have poor character and nasty disposition and ill will, and when you feel like somebody got the best of you and you go below the belt, there's supposed to be an honor among thieves and rules of engagement. Don't go below the belt. That's the danger zone. However, some people don't follow the rules of engagement. And so when they get into beef, they get upset and they go low. Hence, Drake trying to talk about Kendrick's wife and kids, questioning the paternity. How you going to question the paternity of somebody's child when they are in a committed relationship and living together and married? Meanwhile, you skeet all over the place, hiding your daughter. It came out. He said you got a daughter, 11-year-old daughter. He swore that's a lie. That's a lie. It's his daughter. Girl is out at all public events now. Well, who lies on their kids? Listen, my kids, nobody except for the Lord up above comes before my kids. Nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care. I love everybody. I love my family. I love all people. But baby, my kids, if you think you're more important in my life than my kids, you clearly don't know me. I don't care who, my mother and all. I love my mother, but my kids came from out of my womb. God blessed me with that gift. And baby, it's God and then me and my kids simultaneously. Even though people say you're supposed to say you, then your kids. I submit myself under the blessing God gave me. It's my kids, then me. This man has denied both of his children. Both. What kind of savage are you when you deny your children? I can't trust nothing you say if you you denied paternity of not one child, both. And then you try to question the paternity of Kendrick's child, like the low blows. And people all in the hip hop game sat back and watched. It was like, nah, son, we don't go there. We don't go there. You want to emulate all this mafioso stuff. Mafioso people don't play. No women, no children. But no. You think Drake can follow that? No, he can't take it. He hates being, when he think he's coming up, see, he got the benefit of good education. Like anybody can be a fantastic rapper. All you got to do is understand English language. You want to be a good rapper? You want to be a phenomenal rapper? Take English lit. Understand grammatically correct sentence structure. You will mollywop the game. And I'm talking people that are not even as great in school, but it's the command of the language that allows you to craft and structure iambic pentameter. Look it up. Poetry in motion. Poetry and prose in motion. Look it up. Z Google. You know, you always hear me talk about Z Google. Use Google. It's there for everybody. Look up Z Google. But Drake, he's a sore loser, just like Jay-Z was. People were like, who's better, Nas or Jay-Z? Nas was always a linguist. Nas was always in this for something more. This man said, if I ruled the world and everything in it, I'll push a Q45 infinite. It wouldn't be no such things as jealousies or be felonies. We be living some longevity to the destiny. I go inside of Africa, I go and free all the, what? I open up the cells and free in Attica, free all the things and send them to Africa. Like, not to flood Africa with criminals, but to free the minds of Black men trapped in concrete jungles for which they don't belong and can't adjust themselves to fit into the constraints, societal constraints. Perhaps if you took these brothers off the block and sent them to the beauty of the continent, they could flourish, see the greatness in their own melanin, appreciate the melanated chocolate sisters and not have to ascribe to only wanting Becky's daughter because he wants to be like the white man and white adjacent, and nothing wrong with it, but like who you from. You cannot come through a melanated womb and vagina and hate from whence you came. Nobody else has a problem with other people saying, I only want to marry within my ethnicity and my culture. For the Lord God says you should be equally yoked. You know why a lot of relationships have problems? Lack of equal yoking. Lack. I heard a girl I was in a store the other day and I wasn't trying to mind her business, but this guy was, talking to her. He was kicking the whoop-de-woo, and he was very, he was a whole vibe. And he was like, so, he must have asked her. I didn't hear the question, but I could only assume that the question was, you got a man? And she was like, no, I was married, but I'm divorced because and I came in on the relationship broke. And he was like, oh, what can I ask? What was the problem? Why y'all broke up? If you don't mind me asking. And she said, oh, I was American and he was African. And the guy said, oh, unequal yoking. And she was like, no, his mother was a tyrant. No, boo, you still don't understand why you're divorced. Unequal yoking. Because culturally, if you're so vastly different culturally, because Americans have main character syndrome. They think they the main character of everything. And so you don't understand that you've crossed cultural lines where they do things differently in those family structures. I'm from the Caribbean. It would be pointless to bring, I would love to date wherever God sent me a person to love. I would hope he had a little connection to Caribbean culture because it would be easier to infuse him. For when you marry somebody, when a man findeth the wife, he findeth the good thing and get favor from the Lord God. And when a woman is found, she gets the blessing of covering and favor. But guess what? You don't just get a husband or a wife, you get a whole family, boo. And that's where so many people go wrong. Because a woman wants to think, when this man marries me, his mother ain't got nothing to do with it. Mind your business. No, boo. That goes in white houses and American houses sometimes, not really Southern and not really Black American. Very small Black American houses. You got to be detached and be living your best white life. And put that there. Because in regular Black households, or in Southern households, or Caribbean households, or any other ethnicity household, baby, you married a whole family. You better act like you know. And people revere mothers in the Black culture. The mother in the Black culture is here, the matron. This is what it is. You can't be mad at your husband and tell his mother, look, B, no, honey, you asking for a divorce. Now, I know, I see other cultures where they just like, I hate my mother-in-law. Baby, keep that on TV and over there. Because over here, that don't work. The girl was like, oh, my husband's mother was a B. That's why we didn't work out. No, your husband knew. He cannot, in his culture, disavow and disrespect his mother, no matter who he brings in. Oh, God bless you too, honey. Thank you so much. Okay? You have to respect the structure of the culture you marry into. And if you got main character syndrome and you're like, why your mother got to be over here? Why your brother got to stay with us? You asking for a divorce, boo. You better learn that culture while y'all courting and dating. If you don't, I guarantee you. I had a client that sat here was like, my fiance, I think we're going to break up because his mother came and she said, she said the brother had to live with us for a while. And why does he have to live with us? And I was like, Have you taken a moment to ask your husband? And the husband, see, the boyfriend, fiance, he's scared of his mama. He ain't gonna say no. He ain't gonna say no to the family and the culture. That's how it go. You are marrying, and it is the joining of two families. That's what marriage is. Only Americans and main character syndrome think it's just me and my man. No. And if you think so, you is a fool. Oh, yes, Marsha God. Tell him, boo. Honor thy mother and father. Nowhere around that, baby. Ephesians 6:1. Honor thy mother and father. Oh, honey. So true. You marry me, you marry into my family. Tell him, T Monique, this is what it is. I'm Caribbean. Listen, you know how many guys lost it at a cookout? I could have been dating you, brought you around, baby. When my sister gets you, if you can't pass my sister Nikki, and my mother, when she ready, my mother's test is really like, oh, what you doing Saturday? I got some work I need you to do. You don't pass that test. If you get around my mother and you don't know how to swing a hammer, you don't know how to operate a saw, baby, we might as well end this now. You either better know how to do that work or dig in your wallet and call the guy to do it. Hey, I got a guy. I know a guy. And he and my mother could tell you, help guy, oh, look, this is what I need done. Then you got a gold star in her book, honey. And my sister. If you watching Nikki, shout out to my sister Nikki, baby. If you can't get past my sister Nikki, my sister gonna vet you. And her vetting is like, who's your people? Where y'all from? Oh, that's when you just drink? My sister, hard body. If you can't get past my sister, you don't got a place here. Listen, if you think the cookout is tough, you better prepare yourself for Thanksgiving. If you pass with flying colors, if you got thick skin and you don't get all shaken by her jokes and her slick talk, because my sister drink white Henny and she gonna go toe to toe. She don't mean no harm. It's her way. If you can make it through that, you'll be fine. They love you. As long as you could pick up a hammer for my mother and go toe to toe with my sister. Make sure when you come to the, listen, I live in a culture and a family. Do not come to that door with an empty hand. You walk up in the place with an empty, especially for a family event or something, and your hand is empty. You don't want to be a part of the crew. First of all, you shouldn't walk into anybody's house with an empty hand anyway. Oh, honey, with salty sage, baby, you will love my sister Nikki. My sister Nikki go for broke. And then at the end, she gonna say, what? What was your problem? I was just joking. What's the problem? What, you a week back? Oh, girl, what you doing with this guy? Honey, if you cannot pass the family test, you don't, my sister's a Cancer, baby, relentless. Relentless. You hear me? My sister, you bring up something that's a non sequitur and not really relevant to this, my sister gonna say, she gonna lean back in the chair and go, what's the point? And listen, if you try to find yourself explaining and she hits you with 3 more, but what's the point? She'll be like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? She keeps saying that when you're talking, you ain't never coming back. I done seen it happen many a time, okay? I done lived through it many a time. That is how my sister get down. My family loved my husband. You hear me? My grandmother, oh my God. Oh my God. That was her. She'd say, come, my son. That is my grandson. Come here. My grandmother loved my husband. And my mother, listen, I remember one time in the early part of our relationship, and I think we had one child, and our car got messed up and it broke down, and it was like, to fix it would have been way more than. And my husband was like, okay, well, part of his job, he had to drive. And so he was like, well, ask your mother if she'll rent me a car. I said, me? Hey! First of all, I didn't think my mother would do it. But I said, listen here. There's a possibility that my mother would do it. Because as parents, listen, we're supposed to help our adult kids. That's just what it is. We are supposed to still be there for our adult kids. They are going to, if you raise them properly, they're going to handle their own business. But every now and then, you have to be there for your adult kids. Why you want them to fail? You brought them here to fail? No. So he said, you think your mother will rent a car for me? He said, go ask your mother. I said, ask my mother? You forget who is Gloria? Me? I said, listen to me. The likelihood that she will do it is slim to none. However, if you, as the husband, the head of this family, the head of this household, do not go and ask my mother on your own, you will have lost her respect forever. Now, when I ask her, she may do it. But if you ask her, she's going to do it, but she will respect you forever. I said, don't make the mistake. Everybody was intimidated by my mother, Miss Glory. Nobody wanted to say nothing to Miss Glory. Everybody was scared. My mother just, they used to call my mother El Presidente. Okay, that should tell you. El Presidente. Yes, that's what the streets called her. I said, it's not up for discussion. If you need it, you have to ask her. I said, I'll go ask her, but you will never have her respect. Just know that. So one day I said, you know what my mother like? Make sure you stop by the store and get the things she like. Take it to the house. If you see somebody selling some tiles or something, or some, tools, pick that up and bring it to the house for her. There's a certain wine she like, get that for her too. So he did all of that, and then he's like, oh, Miss Gloria, I want to talk to you. You have some time, I want to talk to you. Went and did what he had to do. All I know is hours passed. I ain't hear from my husband. I ain't hear from my mother. My mother and my husband came back with a rent a car. I said, oh, Mama, glad you're in there, you're in. Listen, my mother rented that car, and then he just ended up happening. Now, it sweetened the deal by the fact that one of his play cousins worked at the rent-a-car agency. So she was able to finagle and get him, he was renting this car by the months. He would have the car for months, and maybe she gave the hookup. So my mother, he paid for everything, but he just needed my mother to facilitate the process. And my mother loved a good. And then let's say the rent-a-car was $200 for the week, or let's probably back then $150 for the week or whatever. Let's say it was altogether $400 for the month, because after the hookup and stuff, he would always throw my mother a little $200, $250 on top every week. Listen, every month, without question, in Miss Gloria, here for you, this for you, baby. Now that's a favor. That's how you do a favor. My mother, she loved my husband. You can't, my husband and my sister, my little sister that used to work for Ralph Lauren, my little sister and my husband, they loved each other. So when I met him, my little sister was like 10, 9 or 10, probably 10. Yeah, she was about 10. And one day, her and her little friend, I had the beauty salon, and one of her little friends, Yahira, Panamanian girl, was at my house. They were always at my house, and they were at the shop with me, actually. And I was doing their hair. It was the end of the night. I had finished everybody's hair, and I was doing their hair. And he walked in, he said, where do I go? Y'all got a party or something? And they're going to turn around and go, yeah, we're going to Club Illusion. And baby, my husband named my little sister Illusion from that day. And that is what he called her his entire life. Illusion, where Illusion there? Yo, Illusion, Wagwan. That was her name. It was a Caribbean club in Brooklyn on Empire Boulevard. My uncle used to own it, called Club Illusion. They said they was going to Club Illusion. That was it. That was her name for the whole. So I did their hair and all that stuff. My sister worked for Ralph Lauren, not like in the store, but corporate. Same office building as Ralph Lauren, like a few offices down the hall. And she was a buyer. And so help me God, even when my husband had lost his vision due to his diabetes and he was blind, when I tell you, people used to say, where you get that polo shirt there? Me never see that one there. Yo, anything that came out in polo, my husband would call my sister, what illusion? What am I vote? No. Yo, my sister used to send him sometimes they would have sample ones that didn't go into, mainstream, whatever. Yo, the love of relationship that they had outside of me, I would only know he got more shirts because he'd be like, you see what Illusion sent me? You see? And he would buy them. He ain't walking around like, give me for free. But she would throw this or that in for him because they just had a love relationship. That's what family is. That's what family is. I know people, I'll be like, oh, why my cousin talking to my husband? If you got to live like that, that's scallywag life. Anybody in my family is supposed to be able to call my husband, and that's what it is. We family. What's the problem? What is the problem? Listen, you cannot overstep the boundaries of family when it is predicated in true love and respect. The reason that we have the beautiful, illustrious song called They Not Like Us is because a certain perpetrator, colonizer that was into hip hop and put on his hip hop outfit and came in and said, "Hey guys, I'm a part of the culture too." But he really wasn't of the culture, don't know none of the cultural rules, regulations, and the norms, overstepped his boundary and came at, he didn't, like I said the other day, had Nirvana come in and say ad hominem. Today's word is ad hominem all over again. Instead of talking about the issues and the hip hop beef, you talked about the integrity of this man's queen, his wife, his pride and joy, and his seed. You questioned the legitimacy of, not only did you question the paternity of the child, you basically called his wife a whore. What you expect, Drake? You made that man dig in his bag and come back out with, they not like us. They not like us. That's how we got that brilliant song, because you overstepped the boundary of the culture. If you look through the history of hip hop, you will not hear people violating anybody's wife or children. They don't do it. The one person who made a mistake, Jay-Z, telling Nas that when he slept with, what was her name again? Carmen, that he deposited some seeds in his baby car seat. Jay-Z's mother, who I know personally, Gloria. I know Gloria personally. We were friends for years. Gloria said no, because I know Gloria, and she don't play that. She don't play that. She said, you went too far. Call and apologize. And that man had to apologize. Mama told him. And that's still the level of cultural respect, because even though he was a notable hip hop star, whether you liked him or not, his mama said, ninja, you done went too far. You go up there and apologize. And what did he do? He apologized. See, that's why we couldn't get into Eminem. It's not that Eminem's not a good rapper. He's a great rapper. He has verb subject agreement and makes a lot of good bars. But when you was out there calling your mama a hoe and a junkie and saying that somebody should rape your mother and calling your daughter a bee, we can't get with that. That's not of the culture. That's when people visit the culture, but they're not of the culture. And that, my friend, is why so many people hated the halftime show, because y'all visit the culture. You think you know everything about us. You think you know everything we do. You think you know what's best for us, but you couldn't understand what was in front of your face. That was blaringly obvious. It went over so many people's head, including some Black people. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Now I saw the old white people sitting there looking like, what's this supposed to mean? This is dry. I don't like this. They should have Bon Jovi or somebody. I seen all those videos. The reason and Eminem, he had to take off all that silly bleaching his hair blonde and putting on those costumes and my bun is on your face. My bum is on your face. And, come on. We don't play like that. It was too play. And then calling your mama a hoe and a junkie? Oh, and you wonder why you couldn't fit in. And you wonder why people disavow you. You could be the greatest at something or one of the greats. The Black culture will say, nah, son, we don't see you. We don't do that talking about mama. Now, you ain't going to call your mama out. What? It's like I said with Lotto, because, and she is more immersed in Black culture. So I don't understand why she did it, but I think it is the white side of her that was speaking. I have to be honest. When she did that, I'm a freak, I get it from my mama. Who says that? Listen, you will not, I guarantee you it was the white side of her talking. You will not find any Black female who is a rapper. She could call herself, she could be the most sexy red, the most Glorilla. She could be the most big G-L-E. She could be whatever. She's not going to call her mother a whore. She's not going to say, I'm a freak and I got it from my mother. What? When I heard that song, I said, she got it from where? Her mama? You called your mama a freak for the radio? Yeah, that's the white side talking. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, Blueface. Is his father Black? See, they grew up a whole that's to every rule there are anomalies. There is an anomaly to every rule because that was some ratchet stuff. Now that Blueface situation. But then his mama's a bag of noise too. I hate to say it. I hate to diss one of my sisters. I like to uplift people, but his mama, based on what I've seen out here in these streets, she's a bag of noise. She puts herself out here to look like a bag of noise. And at some point, you have to take responsibility for raising that son because he's a bag of noise too. He is a bag of noise. You didn't. So look, we didn't watch the Super Bowl. Well, I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but y'all hear this? Y'all hear this? It's only me in here. But Lord, Heavenly Father, that's what I'm gonna say. That's the spirit of the living God. We're gonna call it that. Yeah, it's very Kid Rockish. And listen, Kid Rock is a MAGA type dude. So you don't come on. You got Eminem on one side saying, my mother is a junkie and a hoe and saying F you to my mother and I hope you die. He has that in his song. But then you got Tupac saying, dear mama. And even as a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen, mama. I never understand for a woman, it ain't easy trying to raise a man. Some way you always did it. A poor single mother on welfare, tell me how you did it. You always was committed. A poor single mama on welfare, tell me how you did it. There's no way I can understand. But there's no way I can understand, but I promise. I forget that line right there, but he said, I love paying the rent when the rent's due. I hope you got the diamond necklace that I sent to you. Because when I was there, when I was alone, you was there for me. You never left me alone because you cared for me. And even working, I forget all the words, working late, we always came home and you gave us a hot plate. The reverence on one side and the total disavowing and disrespect on the other side. But my plan is to show you that I understand. You are appreciated. Don't you know I love you, sweet Sadie? Come on. We come from a mama is the pinnacle of the family and nobody disrespect mama. And here's the deal. Upon the loss of his mother, because his mother just passed away, Eminem, if he came out and said, if he makes a record to his mama, a Dear Mama-esque record and says, I apologize, I'm sorry I never got the chance, or I hope that when I told you I was sorry that you understood me, I was a lost child, heartbroken, didn't know what I was saying, the world had me in a tailspin, but I love you, mama, and I honor everything you did for me. Baby, do you know they will put him on the list of the greats? And black ninjas on the corner will be like, oh, Biggie, Nas, Jay, oh, we don't take Jay off the list. But, they will call his name amongst the greats. But with this standing, my mom's a hoe, you will never get in that list. You will never. We don't play that. We don't play that. Drake had to learn the hard way. You know what I put out on Facebook and Instagram? Y'all know I don't even like Instagram, but I put it on Facebook and it shares it to my Instagram. While I was watching the show, and I was just like, woo! The first thing that came to my mind is, who's checking on Drake? I literally went on thing and put, somebody better check on Drake. Y'all hear them heavy footsteps? You hear this? Can y'all hear these heavy footsteps? I said, somebody better check on Drake. Because the message was deep and resounding. But it came from Drake on his, shall we call it naivete? I want to be gentle with him. I know he is struggling right now. Whether it's his naivete, whether it's his wanton disregard, whether it's his Columbusing and colonizing the culture, whether it's his being a culture vulture and only wanting to put on his black outfit but never really being immersed in the culture, that's where you make those stupid mistakes. See, he don't understand. He like, how come, what about me? I'm great. How come people don't like me? Why are they making fun of me? Dude, you don't understand the playbook. We have playbook. Be it Biggie with 10 crack commandments. Oh, honey, Biggie loved it. But listen, Valletta Wallace don't play. She's West Indian, honey. She don't play that. You hear what the woman said? One time I went in my son Christopher's room and I see this place. I said, what is this plate? He have grits in his room? My boy was cutting up crack. She said, I throw it in the garbage. He said he had to dig through the garbage and find all the crack rock to put it together. He had to just put an H on his back and handle that. What? Biggie don't play with Miss Wallace. Nobody plays with Miss Wallace. That is a West Indian mother, honey. Now, listen, honey. Honey, you don't play there. And he even, listen, from the early, you know a fruit, you know a tree by the fruit it bears. Because even in the early days, he said, now my mom pimps a act with minks on her back. And she loves to show me off, of course. Smiles every time my face is up in the sauce. We used to beef when the landlord dissed us. Wonder why Christmas missed us. Birthdays was the worst days. Now we sip champagne because we thirsty. Dang right, I love the life I live because it went from negative to positive and it's all good. Who was he talking about? He was talking about he was giving reverence to his mama and how proud his mama was of him. You ever heard Drake make a song like that? Drake respects his mom. Where's her My Mama Is the Best song? Maybe I don't know it. I tend to not listen to Drake like that. I mean, he got some little party bops. I ain't gonna deny that now. He got some songs that I may cut a rug and what is Drake's I Love My Mama song? What is Drake's giving reverence to his mother song? It don't exist. Here's the thing. The man got bars and he has the potential to make a hit, but he don't even have the integrity. If you're following the greats and you want to be considered among the greats, all the greats have said, my mama. You even got Mr. What's his name? Song Cry that our sister, the incomparable Jaguar Wright, sister to the show, honey, my sister, sang on. That was his apologizing for who he was as a person and what he did to his family. Where is Drake's song? Somebody put the title of Drake's I Love My Mother song. What is it? I don't know. Shout out to Charlotte. What's the song? You don't know. Oh, absolutely. She can sing her buns off. We don't know the song because it don't exist. Not to my best opinion and belief or knowledge. I never heard no Drake, my mother, this and that. He always sings about him. And he loves to diss a woman in a song. He loves to diss a woman. You've been going out too much. Your name is in the streets. Like, who are you? She grown. You is her mother. You telling the woman, you used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Oh yeah, you could post one of them. You could get one of my jackets from drip_militia. MILITIA. You used to. I know when that hotline blink, that could only mean one thing because he thinks his only benefit to a relationship is the Woody Wood. I know when that hotline blink, that could only mean one thing. How you gonna challenge a grown woman who you are only saying you used to call me late night When you need my love, and now you questioning why she always going out and her name is outside and why she going and staying out late. Who are you? Who are you? Absolutely, child. Don't nobody want no house of no. Well, so listen. Now, let me change that. Let me change that because I'm about to blow y'all mind. There were many moons ago where I went back to school, and within this, so I went to a school. It was specialized in human services, psychology, things like that. So it was the sciences, the social sciences, and we all had to do like almost work study. We all had to volunteer at different places for the practical of some of the things that we were doing. I was assigned to an AIDS program. Now, first of all, I was in the middle of Manhattan, right in not Times Square, Herald Square, around Madison Square Garden. When I walked in, I thought I was in the wrong building because I expected people, and this was years ago, I expected people to look a particular way, this, that, the other. I walked in, I was like, am I in the right place I'm looking for? And they were like, oh, okay, you're new to the program. I was like, oh no, I'm here as a volunteer. I'm a student, but I'm here as a volunteer. My school, we have to do oh, you're the student they assigned to us? Yes. All right, go into that office, let them know, and then you will come in. When I sat around that table, I have to tell you, I was astounded. I was astounded. Every walk of life, a doctor, teachers, a judge, housewife, every walk of life was in that program. It was a day program for them. And they came there to do different things, like for services, and then if they counseling, and if they needed somewhere to be, let's say some of them used to have a job, but now because of their designation, they're on a program. And so in New York State, those programs do not have the mandate that you work. However, some of them, and they provide resources for them because a lot of them have medical problems. They're newly diagnosed. They have pain or whatever, or let's say the medicines that they're on. There was one guy, he was in a relationship and his mate didn't know he wasn't working. He didn't want his mate to know. They have a right to privacy and nobody can tell on them because they have a right to privacy. And he didn't want his mate to know. So he would come to the program every day. As in, you leave your house to go to work, but then you know what I'm saying? You don't go to work, you go to the program and spends his day there and then goes home. So, and he told me about something called bug chasers. And I was like, what? What do you mean bug chaser? Like, I didn't get it. Shout out to Cinchi. What's up, my love? And he said that there were a group of guys, young guys, say like this was years ago. This had to be about maybe 2000. Oh no, before 2000, 90 something. He said there was a young group of guys called bug chasers, and they would hang around those programs to try to date someone who was in the program, because in New York, they give them a lot of resources. So like, let's say if somebody's on public assistance and they get food stamps and they get like cash assistance and then housing. So the housing benefit that you get on that program was way higher than like Section 8 or whatever, way higher. And they paid their housing. They paid, of course, they got like food assistance, but then their cash benefit was also extremely larger because they had more medicines and different things that they had to get. I mean, they had insurance, but they had other things that they had to get that. And so help me God, he said the young gay guys wanted to catch it so they could get on the program because they didn't want to have to work. I said, what? I said, nah, I don't believe that. He said, yes. They wanted to catch it so that they could get on a program, so the program could pay their rent and pay I think it was like 2000s maybe, because I went back home for like 3 years. My God. They wanted to get on the program so that they could get all of their rent paid for, live in a nice building, because they make them also live in nicer buildings because they are trying to protect them from people knowing their status. So they live in better places, and a lot of landlords in the nicer places take this program because their money is guaranteed. They pay a lot of money up front for them to move in. So they're like their rent is like in advance, and they pay, and they don't ever have to worry about their rent, nothing like that. And they have no mandate to work. So like a lot of those programs, they have a mandate to work in other, in different states, whatever. They'll say like if you're getting cash assistance or assistance to needy people, you have to put in a few hours of work or whatever. Yes, they call them bug chasers, and they want my channel is locked in here yet. Are you here locked? Or Charlotte, take her information, give your information to Expressions of Mishonesty so she can contact you with me. And you see on the homepage, the channel email is thedopestnerd@gmail.com. You could always send an email to. So they wanted to contract a house in Virginia so that they could get on the program, because the only way you could qualify is if you have a house in Virginia. What is vested? I don't know. Keisha, what is vested? Is it one of the programs or something? This was I think it was called DASA or something like that, Division of Aid Service, DAS, Division of Aid Services. And so they would hang around those programs to sleep with somebody who they knew was positive so that they could get positive, unprotected, because they wanted to be positive. You learn something new every day. I didn't believe it, but then I found it to be true. They used to have to run them from the program. I was like, what? Listen, baby, work. Go work. You cannot want free rent that bad. But it's because this is a new generation, and they didn't see that as because they're not as old. These were younger guys. So because they're not as old as us, and of course, from our generation, I existed in a time where it didn't exist. The first time we really came to know about AIDS was like 1984. So it was my channel, we know that they have more people, but I don't understand. I'm not familiar with you here, so I see that you're a member, but what's the main proclamation? We know that that's a myth, but we are a unified group here. We are a unified group here, so we just want to make sure that we are respectful for all the people here. What's lyricist poet? Yeah, that program. So they pay for everything. Yeah, they help them with education. Oh, they help them with vehicles too? Wow. So yeah, that's how this program was. And they said there were people that wanted to catch it because and they called them bug chasers. So that was a non sequitur to the statement that somebody said nobody want a house in Virginia. There are people that want a house in Virginia because they find it to be lucrative and beneficial to their lifestyle, and they don't want to work. And listen, there for everything in the world that you could even assume to exist, there is a crazy. No. It's okay, honey. We just want to make sure that we're not making because I had to do a thing the other day. I had to do a vocabulary word, colonizer, explain what it is. And so we love our entire nerd herd family. I don't care what color you are. And like I said, all white people are not colonizers. We have some dope white people in here. Love my dope white sisters. Love you, and brothers. All white people are not colonizers. Most colonizers are typically white. So we don't want to sow division like that. You might hear me discuss something. I'm simply discussing it in theory and not in attack mode. So I always want to make sure that that's how we come off to each other. Yeah, if somebody told me that in the 80s, listen, when I found out, I almost fell over. I was like, what? I could not believe it, Marcia, but it's real. We were terrified back in the days, but it just seems like this generation is not afraid. And then based on the stats that we hear right now, there's supposed to be some guy who was like, in the OnlyFans world, I was watching YouTube and I heard them talking about him. I couldn't find my remote, ain't changed the TV, just listen to it. Because it wasn't even I'm not into OnlyFans. I wouldn't even know. I remember when Regis Philbin used to say, how do you get to the internet? How do you get to the World Wide Web? He thought it was a place you went to because he was older and he was from a different time, a time gone era. And so he keeps hearing the World Wide Web. You got to go to the internet. He's like, where do you go to the internet? Where's the door? I never forget that show. He's like, where's the door? And Kelly was laughing like, oh, silly, there's no door. And he was kind of like a curmudgeon, like an old man, cranky, can't stand the young people, over it. And he was like, where's the door? How do I get there? And he was annoyed. People, listen, our generation, they had us shooketh. This generation ain't scared. They not scared. They are unbothered. They don't have the level of fear, and it's not stigmatized. I think that's why they're okay with it, because in our generation, those of you who are our age, back then, you couldn't get an apartment, you couldn't get they couldn't live anywhere. They had to live in certain places, or if they had, they would lose their job. They couldn't travel. There was a distinction before that said, if you had a house in Virginia, you couldn't fly out of the United States of America. That used to exist. So they weren't afraid. Now they've changed all of that. But there was a time where that's what life looked like back then for them. So, they weren't afraid. What you say, you're talking to older people about burning CDs? That's hilarious. Yeah, there's a lot of those societal things. Old people, they don't know. And nobody's really running around telling them. You're right, Marcia. They couldn't get a handshake. Nobody would hug them, kiss them, their own family members. I don't know if you remember the young man, Ryan White, who him and his two brothers, they all had hemophilia. And they had, of course, so hemophiliacs have to get constant blood transfusions, and he ended up getting contaminated blood. And baby, how they treated that child with school, horrible. And not to mention pharmaceuticals are creating potions to make HIV. Yeah, they're undetectable now, so they don't care. Because these young people out here, honey, this particular young guy, he was something in OnlyFans. I don't even know how to get to. I'm like Regis. How do you get there? I don't know how to get. Where's the door to OnlyFans? I don't know. But all I know is they were talking about some guy named Gucci Third Leg, and that he had slept with everybody and was handing out. I don't know if it was a house in Virginia. I think it was, but everything else, I mean, lit. They and a whole lot of, even one of, what's the rapper female? Well, not, is it Sexy Red? I can't tell them apart. One of them. I don't. She had a baby not that long ago. She even slept with him, and they said this dude is loaded. I just saw some girl. He met her, slept with her. She tattooed his name on her forehead. Well, Claude, listen. I remember, what'd you say? I remember the either late 80s or early 90s, a guy going to jail knowing he was HIV positive. Oh, in New York, Kim? Oh, I remember that guy. I remember his name. You talk about in New York? Kim. Are you talking about the guy in New York, Kim? They had to go in the closet with him, and he went back home. Some parents would look after them. Yeah, remember And the Band Played On? Look at And the Band Played On. I keep telling people. That is, and there's other ones. Remember, there was a supermodel named Gia, and that was a movie from back in the days. Now, if you watch Gia, that will freak you out to your core. No. Krishan is not the person I'm talking about. This is a guy. He met some girl. This was recently. And the girl slept with him. And yeah, Ryan White, Elton John, and then befriended him. Yep. And he had to homeschool. Yeah, that was tough. But this young lady peeping in while at work. Hey, LA chick. Which movie you saw, Helena? You saw Gia or And the Band Played On? Yeah, Gia was, whoo, honey. Gia is a good depiction of what it looked like back then when people were sick and how society treated them. You were a leper, persona non grata. If they even thought you were sick, you lost your apartment, you lost everything. Dude was the guy that went to jail. Was that the guy? So the guy that no, this is somebody different. This guy I'm talking about is the guy now. The guy in New York back in the day, his name was Nashon something, and he slept with a bunch of women. I think they said like 200, and was. But here's why they really got him. When he was going through, he used to live in Brooklyn, I believe, and also he was upstate New York. So when he was, and he didn't even really look like nothing, honestly. He didn't really even look like nothing for nobody to be fighting over. But these young white girls, he went into this community upstate New York and was sleeping with, and the white girls was fighting over this dude. I'm talking, he had a bunch of chicks pregnant, all of them, and was sleeping with them young girls, 16, 17, baby. His name was Nashon. I never forget that. I never forget that. They locked him up because I think he ended up sleeping with the one of the sheriff's daughter and impregnated her. And they all started to find out that he was House of Virginia, positive, and infected. It was like 200 chicks. Now, when he was running through Brooklyn, they ain't say nothing. They let him run. His name was Nashon or Naquan or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was Nashon. I remember that very, very, very heavy. And then there was another guy in North Carolina. That's why I say if you're in North Carolina, because that had, oh baby, that North Carolina dude, that thing had implications. He spread that thing so far, they ended up making a movie about it and a documentary. One of the made-for-TV type movies, but yes, and a documentary. He had Jerry curls, and he was like the it guy in the town, and everybody, he was throwing a little money here and a little money here, and baby, he was taking folks out, and then he was sleeping with married women, and it was a lot of people throughout the time, but they were a lot of people intentionally all over the country intentionally went and spread it. And that's dangerous. Like, that's so crazy, but it's real. It's real. It's just what it is. Gia was, Angelina Jolie played Gia. Yeah. I remember the woman on Oprah. I remember the little girl, Hydea Broadbent. She just passed away last year. Do you remember? Hydea they found out when she was 5 years old. She was adopted. And the lady took her in, and they said she would not survive a year. Hydea Broadbent just passed away, and she had children and everything. And here's the thing. I was so moved by Hydea Broadbent when she was on Oprah at 5. I have followed her whole life. I've always looked her up to see how she was doing, looked at this. When social media came into being, I would follow her and go check on her all the time, because I wanted to make sure. I was so moved by her story, her desire to have, she was born with it. Her desire to have a life. She had children. She became a mother and everything, and successfully became a mother. And here's what people don't realize. There is something called seroconversion. It happens with all babies. When babies are born, they have their mother's bloodstream. And then once they're born, within a year or 8 months, they seroconvert to their own bloodstream. So while you'll have DNA from your mother, you will have a whole separate bloodstream, which is why a baby could be born with HIV and then seroconvert and be HIV free, because you develop your own blood system. And so I would always follow her, because I always wanted to, yes, Philadelphia was great as well. But I would always follow Hydea, because I just really wanted. Oh, you didn't know what I meant by House of Virginia, girl? Yeah, that's they used to say that since back in the days. That's old time code. But YouTube is so fickle, so we got to always be careful of what we're saying. Gia Karanji, yes, that was a movie, honey. That got in your soul. But yeah, seroconversion is very, very SERO, seroconversion, and I believe it's SERO. What was wondering why you kept saying House of Virginia? That is too funny. I didn't realize you didn't realize that. I'm gonna make a glossary of terms, and I'm gonna have Locke put it in the somewhere so that you can always see the glossary of terms. That one sounds complicated, K-Leg. That sounds complicated. Yeah, we need a code book, honey, because, guys, I've been working on, Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. I should make you wait and surprise it on you. But this is one of the this is one. This is one of the logos. Oh, did it turn around? Why? Why'd you turn around? This is one of the logos for the dopest nerd, guys. I don't know why it's turning around. It's because it always wants to make me look like I don't know. Can y'all see it? For the t-shirts? This is one of the logos for the dopest nerd. The shirts and everything will be coming soon. We're working on the website and everything, guys. You guys are gonna love it. Karina Allure did a video mini doc on Gia. Did you know Dinah Ross wanted Gia's jeans? What? She wanted her jeans. Huh? Jeans like DNA or denim? Because, Thank you guys. They're gonna be listed on, you're gonna be able to buy on YouTube through the shopping link from the website, the Dopest Nerd website. You're gonna be able to buy them very soon. Hopefully, what is today? Is today Tuesday, Wednesday? I don't follow Chronos time, guys. What's today? Thank you. It was a little, I can be a little slow at things. I off this site, I have a lot of, okay, Wednesday, thank you. I do a lot. Off this site, I do a lot. And some things get pushed because I wear many hats. And so, oh, denim. Okay, no, I didn't see it. I know who Karina Lord is. Haitian girl, Haitian lady. NBC is being sued for the making of a BB documentary. What is BB? NBC is being sued. What is BB? What am I missing? Does anybody else know what that is? Oh, it's already Thursday for you, Charlotte? What the fuck is that? Guys, so help me God, it sounded like somebody was opening the door in my house just now. Me and Lottie had to go check it out. I don't know. My God. It was so, I could hear it. Oh my God, I can't even. What did I miss? It sounded like somebody was opening a door in my house just now. Ooh, child. Thank you. Oh, okay. Really? They being sued? Why? Who they being sued by? Who are they being sued by? I didn't see. Aw, we love you, Keisha. So happy you're a part of the nerd herd too, my love. We love you. Shout out to the nerd herd. I love all of y'all. You guys are amazing. Love you all. Them t-shirts is coming soon, guys. Wait till you see the rest of the designs. There's so many designs. That's the one I had on my phone. Do I have another one in here? I want to surprise y'all when y'all see all the designs. We have a few more in the computer too. But they're in the computer, so. But you guys will see them soon enough. A whole bunch of shirts. You could get hoodies, you could get t-shirts, you can get short sleeve t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts. We're going to try to have sweatpants as well, hats, the whole shebang. Fuzzy socks. And they say Diana Ross was a gatekeeper back in the day, so. But what does she need her jeans for? I don't get it. That sounds gross. Will you do one in the royal purple with the word doofus? LOL, asking for a friend. I'll see what I can do. Maybe we'll have a segment where you can customize your shirts. Yeah, I jumped up. It sounded like somebody was opening a door in my house. You know how somebody opens a door like real slow, baby. Yes. Yeah, I did, Keisha. Oh, I love you too. Oh, you said it was a lie? Child, please. Ain't no lie. The 911 the 9/11 documentary was Loose Change. Now, remember, you got to look through the loose changes, because what they've done is once Loose Change made the documentary Loose Change, they started making other BS little shows and calling it Loose Change to try to throw people off. But you probably have to pay to see it. You got to look all around. Google it, look on YouTube. Somebody will probably have a link and say full episode, and you got to hit a link, and then you got to pay like whatever. If you have one of those Fire TV movie apps that lets you see all kinds of stuff, or VPN, and then you got some program that allows you to see all these Fire TV, all these movies and TVs that you could just see on your app, check in one of those and you'll find Loose Change. Put Loose Change documentary, 9/11 documentary. But listen, I got something for y'all. I think I sent it to Locked before. We'll have something on the website where any link that we've ever sent out, all the things we suggest will be there. You can just go there and click the link. And we'll also have trivia, because you know your girl loves a good trivia. No, Lottie's not short for Charlotte. Lottie is Lottie Dottie. She likes to party. She don't cause trouble, and she don't bother nobody. Lottie is my trusty dusty sidekick. Shout out Dishing with the D. Yeah, the jailbroken fire stick. Lottie is blue steel. Hope I don't get struck. But yes, me and my boo. Shout out Mom Star. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Lottie is my boo. Yeah, he listen. He want to say it's not true, but baby, street says it's true and more. But wait, didn't you hear they drop that lawsuit will be dropped soon? Didn't you hear they announced superseding indictments today? And the case is expanded, which I knew they were going to do. See, here's the giveaway. The RICOs are not one person. I knew there was going to be superseding indictments with other people because a RICO does not constitute one person. But they let him fester because they knew they were bringing other things. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was coming, baby. And baby, they announced it today. You know, I have a reason and a theory why I don't always do stories connected to him. I have a reason why I let others do the stories connected to him for my own mental well-being, because I don't want to see his yuck face all the time. And he another one, child. You know, the streets, I can't even say the streets say. Y'all can read between the lines. You know, houses in other states and stuff. But I ain't want to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me. They announced some additional superseding indictments today and said that there's additional people that are a part of the RICO. It's expanded. It is all types of new charges and everything, which I knew was the case. Listen, that's why I don't talk, because I know. And here's the thing. I don't want to forewarn people that don't deserve forewarning. I believe in due process and all that, but I ain't trying to say nothing that's going to benefit, people that I'm not for. I have theories on a lot of things. I have a theory on, I want to be able to make a thumbnail, or, I'll be making no thumbnails, girl. I'll be on this thing way more often if I could make thumbnails now. That's nirvana. But she's a senior and she has responsibilities and such. But absolutely. So yeah, loose change. I think locked. Let me see where my girl at anyway. We stay side by side till the storms in life pass us by. And my mind, 1 second, guys. Oh my. Sorry about that, guys. They said there are 50 people and videos, etc., that will be testifying before the grand jury. Probably all 50. Oh, yeah, they said 50 have flipped. I heard that, Joyful Ladybug. Yes, ma'am. Probably still going to be even more superseding charge. Yes, indeed, honey. Yes, honey. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. There's a lot of people in it. See, people want to, and that's why they say there's no such thing as the perfect crime. And if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Because, baby, people will absolutely unequivocally turn state's evidence on you because they say it don't make sense. All of us going to jail. Who gonna tell the story? Who gonna stay around and tell the story? People not trying to do that time. You see how they all try to big Willie style with the chauffeur and now I mean and all that on Busby. And look, who's left standing? Did you hear that Jay-Z dropped his lawsuit against Busby? Did you hear? All that big boss ish he was talking. He dropped it quick though. He tried without the fanfare. He tried to drop it, but the content creators came for him. He thought he was all. Come on, come on. And then people all running around the Super Bowl trying to say, "Oh, he dropped. The lawsuit is over." No, it's not. That case is going to court, like I said it was going to. What? What you say now, Marsha? Oh, shout out, Mom Star. I didn't know you were in South Africa. Can y'all take that Elon Musk guy back, please? Lord have mercy. How y'all let that man out of there? I don't want them. I don't want him terrorizing South Africa, but we sure don't want him over here too. She made a donation to Busby's foundation. Oh, that case is going to trial though. They ain't letting her off the hook. They ain't letting him off the hook. It's going to trial. Yeah, he respectfully dropped that because it was BS from the get-go. There is a whole protocol for filing lawsuits. And one of the first things you do is you send shout out to Maggie. What's up, my love? Maggie. Woo woo. Everybody give love to Maggie, the Black Owl. Listen, the investigative journalist of YouTube, baby. Everybody give some love to our girl Maggie. Shout out to you, Maggie. She gave 100K. But when you're a gazillionaire and you give somebody 100K, you don't really mean to influence them now, do you? Or maybe she gave him a donation because she want to get rid of that sucker her dang self. And she was like, listen here, brother, you do your good work. You hear? How did this come out? How did people know that she gave 100,000? Where cite your sources. I don't know the names from today. I'd only heard it when I was, getting ready to jump on. I don't know the names. Listen, now that's what I say, K-Leg. I say she made a donation because she like, excuse me, sir, I want you to work hard and smart at your job and snatch all them suckers off the street if that's what needs to happen. Absolutely. I believe it. I wouldn't doubt it. Listen, people can get tired of somebody but be so intrinsically connected to them that they don't perceive themselves a way to get away, especially in light of the fact when negative things pop up, he will take it as you ain't, there's a line in hip hop. I think it was Raekwon the Chef. You don't get your man back like that. You don't do that. That's what he's scared of that. They announced it a couple of months ago. Really? How did I miss that? I didn't know. Wow. Every Canadian premiere is in Washington today. Is that so? I need to check that out. Why would that be? Are they going to be the 51st state? Because he's the greatest and he wants a new state. He wants Gulf of America and all that. Everything's going to be the greatest for the likes of which the world has never seen. It was great. Did you see it? It was great. I like my great McDonald's. I don't eat real food. I'm a 70-something-year-old man, almost 80. I think he's 80. And he only likes McDonald's. Think about it. I didn't hear. Well, y'all, I did take some time off. Do you guys remember that I took some time off from the internet? I was like, bump y'all internet. I got to go live my life and do my thing because I don't got time for every now and then I will step away. Because see, for me, this is a love. I love what I do. I love interacting with you guys. I love enlightening people. I'm a content creator. I consider myself a subject matter expert. I'm well versed in a whole lot of topics, but I'm here because of a love. I'm here because of a whole lot of things. Facebook, I hardly go on Facebook anymore, but Facebook sent me something the other day. You know how they do the memory thing? They sent me a memory and it was me talking about, I think hair relaxers or something. I don't know. It was something, but I was talking on Facebook Live, and I said, "Look at that! It was from 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago." I said, "Look at that! God was preparing me for what I do now, and I didn't even know it because that's how God is." Because I used to always do those, um, having my say, like call it a having my say minute or whatever. But I would talk for a little while, like 10 minutes or however long the thing was. Um, Woo! That is funny, Elon. I mean, Kim. She said, I saw a joke earlier. You can't have felon without Elon, baby. Now, you see how God's majesty is? God is so specific in his infinite wisdom. Look at that. Your name is the sum total of felon. Listen, God is the original predictive programmer. Just please know that. Bigly. Listen, Mocha B. Me and Nirvana just talked about that yesterday. You remember Bigly? He used to say everything Bigly. I was great. It was humongous. The greatest ever. It was Bigly. Everybody was like, what? Bigly. What is Bigly? They said Beyonce, this is what they're saying. Per MSNBC, Be Good Foundation has donated $100,000 to the University of Houston Law Center. Back. See, that's why cite your sources is so important. So how is now, please somebody illustrate to me how the Houston Law Center is connected to Busby, because Beyonce herself is from Texas. So show me the correlational relationship between the Houston Law Center and Busby. That's why citing your sources is important, guys. Busby said he was contacting the people in the video for the options to settle. Part of that settlement was a $100K donation. We know from who. Y'all got to show me something. So Martha Cardeal, shout out to you, Martha. You get a gold star today, boo, because this is some cite your sources. Martha said, per MSNBC, the Be Good, I guess, Foundation has donated $100,000 to the University of Houston Law Center back in December 11, 2024. Now, hold on one second, guys. Talk amongst yourself, guys. Let's see. I'm falling a little behind in the chat. Hey, Auntie Leah, what's the dealie? What up, boo? He works in mysterious ways. God is so infinite in his wisdom. I'm telling you. You see what the word said, Father God knew you before you were a twinkle in your father's eye. Okay. Hey, pardon my Frenchie. How are you, my love? It's Buzz. So Houston Law Center is Busby's alma mater. Okay. All right. Well, that's still a step removed. It's his alma mater. So remember, Beyonce is from Houston also. She's from Texas. That's her stomping ground. So this is why I'm always big on cite your sources, because first and foremost, it would be a massive impropriety and a conflict of interest if she directly donated $100,000 to Busby. He would not be so presumptuous as to accept that this man is wealthy. $100,000 is too small of an amount of money to jeopardize your integrity as an attorney, your law degree, and your ability to be a lawyer, practice law, as well as your integrity in the landscape. Accepting a donation from your ops, basically, from your client's accuser's wife, shows conflict of interest and a lot of improprieties. So I knew there had to be something. So that's not the same, guys. You see why I'm always cite your sources? Because that's how these statements continue to spread, and then it becomes hyperbole and hearsay. And we got to be careful. You know, I'm a nerd. I don't want to repeat anything that is not rooted and based in fact and citable. I'm bibliography queen. I got to be able to cite it. So listen, lots of people went to school there. I don't know that constitutes a donation to him. He graduated summa cum laude from the University of Houston Law. So if you're summa cum laude, magna cum laude is number one, valedictorian. Summa cum laude is number two. You're the salutatorian. Why would you jeopardize your entire integrity by accepting a donation from your client, your current client, for whom you are suing and representing in a criminal case? Why? Or representing in a civil case, but a criminal act. So I think it's a criminal case. Why would you accept a donation? Please don't believe that hype. That's not how this thing works. And don't repeat those misnomers, because that is how bad press begins and hyperbole starts. He's the biggest perpetrator out there. Con man, racist, homophobic, sexist, lying, cheating to impeach felons. Yeah, baby, you must be talking about Trump. You must be talking about the felon in chief. He has bigly amount of felony convictions, 34. Well, listen, okay, granted, Busby, that is his alma mater. However, it simply means he's a former student. That's like my son giving, $100,000 to his school because my daughter's deciding to go there. She's a new student or something, and it's even a step removed. That's on a affirmative and a positive. Let's say that's like, do he got a wife? He ain't got no wife. One of whose baby mamas giving a donation to Howard because he used to whip women in there. I'll have to call them back. Oh, good to see you too, my love. How are you? Now, I'm not going to say her intent wasn't to give the look of impropriety and to make it appear that, but listen, even being the managing editor of the Houston Law Review does not make you get that money. That money, if money is granted, it goes to the endowments department. It doesn't just go to, he's the managing editor of the Houston Law Review. That's his alma mater. He was summa cum laude, so he gets the money. No, it's so totally disconnected from all of that. Now, she did it to give the look of impropriety. And it just shows the dirtiness, because if a woman is accusing my husband of an egregious, horrific thing, why, and I give a donation to the alma mater of the attorney, it looks so dirty. She is muddying the water, not in favor of her husband. Listen to me. Trust when I tell you, it is not going to come out. The federal government will take that and add that to the RICO. It is the attempt it gives an appearance of impropriety of your attempt to sway someone, but it doesn't look good. But we still cannot say she gave him here. Listen, in a nerd herd, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I cannot endorse that statement. I'm going to bing, boom, bing. Disclaimer, we are not endorsing that statement and we are not running that statement. That statement did not come from this body. That did not come from the nerd herd. We are not allocuting to that statement. I don't agree with it. The statement, other content creators may not have journalistic integrity and may make a connection where there is no symbiosis, but not here in the nerd herd. And I cannot endorse that statement. Apparently, Beyonce made a donation to the Houston Law Center, which is Tony Busby's alma mater. He is the current, what was he? You said he was the managing director of the Houston Law Review. Lots of attorneys are the managing editor or director of their alma mater's law. Lots of it still does. The money still doesn't get to him, so I won't make that. And I have to call I don't. I have to disavow that. I don't agree. She didn't give him money. She didn't give money to him. She made a donation, but it looks improper, and she's only going to hurt her husband. And it shows that they're using. All it does is it illustrates even further that they use money to win Curry favor. Busby got too much money to be moved by 100,000. 100,000 sounds like a lot to regular everyday Joe Schmoes. But 100,000 is nothing when you're a multimillionaire. And you would be a fool to take such a, it's equivalent to her donating him a pair of Jordans to come play on our team and be our, it doesn't make sense. So I can't endorse that statement. He currently works with and supports the Houston Law Center. He also served as pro bono lead counsel for the Law Center, so it could be an undercover way to do it. That would call Busby an idiot. 100,000 only sounds like a lot of money because you never had it. As somebody who's had millions, listen to me, 100,000 is not enough to compromise your integrity. Trust me. In layman's terms, in everyday people's terms, 100,000 is equivalent to if somebody said, go up there on that stage and call your mama a hoe. I'm about to give you this $2,000. You gonna call your mother a hoe for 2,000? And where you gonna go after that 2,000 run out? It's the same thing, guys. Don't be moved. This man is a multi-millionaire. Do not be moved. He's not going to jeopardize his integrity and his legal integrity over. I mean, it would cause him to jeopardize his whole law career and degree. I can't. It can't be a part of a settlement because that's not how settlements are made. That's not how settlements are made. There are listen, y'all, remember, y'all, this was my existence for many years. I told you it took 12 years for my case to settle. Many moons ago. It took 12 years. Trust me. Sources, Busby's website. So what now? Busby's website, how? The Houston Law Review? Because that's not his. He might be the managing director, but he doesn't own it or have a say. He can be dismissed like any other law editor and someone else can replace him. Or is it on Busby's page? Is it on Busby's law firm's website? Ain't no way I would take no $100,000 as a part of no legal buyout. 100,000 to a millionaire? Y'all don't understand. That's flim flam money. It don't make sense. They would have to give a $2 million endowment or something. I'm not taking no freaking flim flam $100,000 when I'm a multimillionaire. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't make sense. And that's not usually how you take $100,000 as a part of a settlement, you have devalued the value of your case. And people that deal with those levels of money and what Jay-Z stands to lose and Beyonce, $100,000 is such a abysmal, paltry sum. It doesn't make sense to jeopardize you for that. It don't make sense. Oh, shout out to somebody. I just saw a membership come across here. I don't know. Did I bypass it? I'm sorry, my love. Shout out to Nikki. for becoming a member. We love you. Welcome to the family, boo. Kahola. That's your official welcome. That's how you know you in. Oh, well, welcome back to the family, boo. Where you been, cuz? Ain't seen you in a minute. Welcome back. uh, you love my impression, Auntie Leah? Thank you. Thank you. It's the greatest impression ever. It's Bigly. You never underestimate. You never understand the people who voted for me. Yeah, I don't either. For the love of God, I don't. I don't understand. Look at what is happening. We are in a 5 alarm fire. If you think the California fires were bad, the Trump fires on the American democracy is unbelievable. And the Democrats over there passive with their tail between their legs like some kind of weirdos. It is. That's how I know they all in on it. All in on it. Miss Love, you get a gold star too, honey. It still boggles my mind. Pardon my French, she said, it still boggles my mind how you can be a convicted felon and run a country, but can't get an entry level job. My God, you get a gold star today, boo, and you're going to get the teacher's apple because that was a mouthful. You can't get in McDonald's good if you got charges. This dude got felonies, 34 no less. They are systematically devaluing the office of the presidency of the United States of America. We were the superpower nation that every country like flocked to. We housed the UN, for God's sakes, the United Nations. And you could be the president with 34 felonies. Is the dumbest thing ever. It's the dumbest thing ever. No. You said no. You said I don't think anyone said she donated to Busby specifically, but more so against Jay-Z. No. They said she donated to Busby. In this thing, you know me, I'll go back in the line and cite my sources. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just bizarre. I don't even understand what's taking place. It's really bizarre. I don't know why you guys are not hearing. Listen, when you check, go to the bell for the notifications and make sure it's listed at all. Listen, we know what it is, the hackation. These folks don't want me out here talking. I am a threat to a whole lot of people. They don't want me out here talking. Greetings, Sadia. How are you? Or how do you pronounce yours, Sadia or Sadia? I grew up with a Sadia, so. Looks like they're using every trick in the book to make it look like a conflict of interest. I'm sure they are because that's how they get down. That's how they get down. And that's the dirty thing of it. They want the young lady remember, this young lady has she's on the spectrum. She also has a traumatic brain injury, both of which your girl, the dopest nerd, has. I'm not diagnosed on the spectrum, but I've self-diagnosed myself. I truly believe I'm on the spectrum. I do, and I love it. I love it on the spectrum. It's somewhere where I can exist and just be. I call it my tism. Now, while I was never, diagnosed, I self-diagnosed myself like Amanda Seals, and I believe it, and I like it. I like it. Leave me alone. It's mine. Can't take it from me. But I do have a traumatic brain injury and PTSD. Yeah, I don't think he's going to jeopardize himself for 100K. 100K only sounds like a light when you ain't got it. Trust me, when you know that kind of money, it's not a lot. And what he stands to lose is so much broader and more vast. Go to criminal justice clinic to be used to hire a full-time director and see expanded services put into the program as billboard. This donation will allow for more students to enroll in the course in the future. Yeah, it expanded the reach of the particular course for students who otherwise would probably not be able to access the course due to financial constraints. And so, yes, they make these little donations and it's for blah, blah, and they know how to make it sound good. But let's just be honest. Nobody's nobody with that level of tact, decorum, legal maneuvering, and agility is going to jeopardize their entire career over no $100,000. That's pocket money for a rapper. No. Yeah, it's pocket money. Billboard magazine ran the full story with donation to help provide pro bono legal services in our community. Absolutely. See, that's a difference. You see how it changes now? Pro bono legal services are important. There are a lot of people who have civil issues, and those legal services. Listen, my stepdad was an attorney and used to work for New York Legal Services. So I know what these type of endowments to those agencies mean. There are a lot of people who are in need of legal services. They need pro bono legal coverage, and the quality of their case just won't cut it with your run-of-the-mill brokey jokey lawyer. They need a skilled attorney, but a lot of those people don't have the financial wherewithal to access that quality of law. A part of law dictates that attorneys, especially skilled attorneys and law firms, donate some of their time to pro bono cases. And so what this will afford people to do is have access to a pro bono attorney to handle their case with the top-notch legal, expertise, and for either little or no money. And typically it's no money because that's what pro bono means. But she's just trying to look like a decent human being, trying to, because when else did you donate? Or perhaps she donates to them regularly and we're only hearing about it now because there's a case. Who knows? But it's too gray. So I don't want to endorse that statement here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a Kanye thing. I just gotta wait for whatchamacallit. Listen, let me tell y'all my basic theory on Kanye. Kanye is a Gemini. Keep telling y'all, I'm a Gemini. I was born June 12th. Geminis have a thing about them. I might not hold a grudge, but we're gonna get our lick back because it's sport for us. All of this stuff he's doing, calling himself, what do you call himself? Yayoff Yitzler? Listen, all he's doing is provoking all the Anti-Defamation League, all of the people that came out before talking about he was anti-Semitic. He's provoking them. Y'all got to stop falling for the okie doke. I'm going to need y'all to open that third eye. See, this eye and your glasses is a little fuzzy. I know mine need a good wipe down. Your glasses a little fuzzy and blurry, and you ain't thinking from, you're thinking from sight and not vision. Kanye is provoking all of the people who came against him. Remember how much money he lost? He was a billionaire and he lost $400 million overnight because they said he was anti-Semitic. And then Elon is out here giving the Sig Heil and ain't nobody saying nothing. So Kanye said, oh, y'all let this ninja do all that and y'all ain't say nothing, but y'all want to come for me? All right, let me come back out here and now say, I'm a Yahtzee, that I love, what's his name, and see what they say. He knows what he's doing. He is provoking one of them to come out so he can say, oh, talk that shit to Elon. Y'all got to stop falling for the okie doke. Y'all be falling for the okie doke. Now, come on, y'all. Y'all nerds. Now, I expect more out of y'all. I expect more out of y'all. Y'all supposed to see through that okie doke. Y'all don't see through that okie doke? This man is provoking them because he's daring somebody to say something to him so he can say, oh, where was all that energy when Elon was out here? They don't want to do it. They know Kanye got their back against the wall. Not the least of which is people is like, oh, you see what Kanye did to his wife? What he made her do? Are y'all serious? She's a woman. What happened to the right to choose? That's what this all is. He gonna be like, oh, you blaming me because she came outside naked? She's a woman. What happened to the right to choose? She has a right to choose how she wants to display her body. She chose to display her body nude. That was her choice. I thought all y'all women said woman power. Why you blaming me? That was her decision. He know what he doing. Why are y'all falling for the okie doke? Y'all letting me down. Don't make me say I'm disappointed. I told you that's the one that really gets my kids. It grinds their gears. That's right. They will use your record. Tell your husband, dish it with D. Tell your husband to look up the system to get bonded, boo. Hey, boo. How you doing, my love? Tell your husband to get bonded. There is a system by which he can get bonded. And what that bond does is it tells the company, any company that's willing to hire him, that they're protecting them, indemnifying them against loss. They're making him, he's bonded. They're making him hireable. Trust me. Tell him to look up getting bonded in your state. I used to work for a nonprofit organization, and we used to get bonds for people who had previous criminal records so that companies would be willing to hire them and not deem them unhireable. The bond only says in the event something takes place, the bond will kick in and take the responsibility. Yeah, the hackation is definitely real, always and forever. Shout out to Joyful Ladybug. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. See my comments in chat, source of Bay's money. Okay, did I miss it? Hold on. I must have missed it. Let's see. Joyful Ladybug, where you at, boo? Billboard magazine ran a full story with donation to help provide pro bono legal services. I read it. That one? Oh, you must have said something else. I think it might be far up. I'm behind in the chat, guys. I'm trying to catch up. Oh, LA Chick, you get a gold star too, baby. It is the beginning of the new world order. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. We are there. I told y'all America has fallen, honey. What you are watching is remember back in the days we used to watch all those shows, Gilligan's Island and all those stuff, and what did the monkeys and all that stuff, what did they all have in common? Quicksand. People would slowly go down into the quicksand. That's what we are in, quicksand. America's in quicksand right now. America's in quicksand right now. And those who don't know, yeah, YouTube is wonky. Yeah. You've been shadow banned? Why? Oh, they certainly don't want me out here. That's beautiful. Look at God. Kim said he is making Canada come together like nobody's business, and to God be the glory. To God be the glory. Everything in God's time. Sometimes we don't see maybe that's what Canada needed, a unifying force. I got cousins in Toronto. I got cousins in Mississauga, all of that. I'm very down with Canada. I have cousins in Scarborough. My auntie lives in Scarborough. Oh, absolutely. Listen, I talk to Canadian. My aunt is I got cousins and my aunt and all of them that live in Canada. What you said, Auntie Leah, you can't tell that I have a brain injury? To God, why y'all think I'm so steadfast on God? This is what I'm telling you. Oh, you look so cute in that picture, girl. Look at them dimples. Okay, dimples. That's why I'm so steadfast on God. All those people who say, oh, she can't really be into this God stuff. That's fake. Listen here. There is absolutely no way I survived a pew to the face with not only do I have a traumatic brain injury, I have a seizure disorder and a host of other things. My girl, my queen, you think I'm not going to be out here stomping with the big dogs? God. Listen, couldn't nobody else do it but God. Why would I trust anybody else? Child. Now y'all get me. Somebody said, I saw a comment. Somebody was like, oh, I don't trust nobody that be talking about God all like that. What'd you say, Satan? Not today, Satan. That's right. There you go. Marsha said we will never be anybody's state. Yeah, I love it in the spectrum. Thank you for welcoming me. I think I'm all the way to the pendulum swing, all the way to the savant level. I like the spectrum though. It I've never been diagnosed, but to me it makes sense. It makes sense. I must be way behind. NPR, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg recommended Trump get the minimal sentence of unconditional discharge. Conviction will remain on his record. Did this happen today? Alvin Bragg don't even pay that. This pressure is coming from somewhere else because Alvin Bragg don't even pay that. He don't play that. This has to be coming from somewhere. This is horrible. Wow. Oh, okay. I know what it is. He got a minimal sentence of unconditional discharge. The conviction will stay on his record. Absolutely. Because they wanted it to be wiped off. Alvin Bragg don't play that. Yeah, he don't. Listen, let me read y'all another thing. They said about, I be in the law, I get emails that attorneys get. And so most of the things about concerning the law, I know them before they hit the mainstream stuff. They circle inside in the attorneys first. Let me tell y'all a little something about the New York Law Journal says Eric Adams, mayor of New York City, arrives at, this was a picture of him arriving. It says former SDNY prosecutor, now top DOJ official, directs a dismissal of the corruption charges against Eric Adams. This sucker done played, he done soft shoot and tap dance. In a 2-page memo obtained by the Associated Press, Acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove told prosecutors from the Southern District of New York that they were directed to dismiss the bribery charges against Adams immediately. This is as of yesterday. It said the Justice Department on Monday ordered federal prosecutors to drop corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams, arguing in a remarkable departure from long-standing norms that the case was interfering with the mayor's ability to aid the president's crackdown on illegal immigration. So not he ain't guilty, just, oh, well, I want him to work on illegal immigration. So even though New York is a sanctuary city, tell me if this ain't quid pro quo right here. This right here is a violation of the law and due process. In a 2-page memo obtained by the Associated Press, Acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove told prosecutors, that they were directed to dismiss the bribery charges against Adams immediately, aka tout suite. Oh, your mother's a Gemini? Okay, wow. Listen, Geminis, we a different breed. I must be far back in the chat. Tasha T said, one day at a time. Natanya has gotten me through it. It took one day of listening her. And when I tell you God called and I was ready to listen, she is my spiritual queen. Why, thank you, Tasha. I needed that. Thank you, boo. I appreciate that so much. Oh my God. To God be the glory. Listen, we are called to be disciples of God's word. We are called to be kingdom disciples and usher people into the kingdom. I am simply doing my part. To God be the glory. And welcome, baby. Welcome, sis. Glad to have you. And I'm so happy that you are developing and expanding and getting deeper in your spiritual relationship with God. So happy for you. To God be the glory. Oh, my sister Jaggy. What's up, boo? You coming up? You want me to drop the thing? What up, sis? I didn't know you was in here. I'm so far back in the chat. Let me go down because it said I was far back. Noticing. I don't want to skip y'all things. I'm trying to. You coming up, sis? You want me to drop the link? WBAL. The website that was selling Kanye's t-shirts and Boss Swackers has been deactivated by Shopify. Yes. Listen, I'm telling you, Kanye is trying to provoke a reaction out of all of the people who were so fake and came against him, calling him anti-Semitic and have said nothing to Elon. He's not stupid. And I doubt for 1 second that he believes any of that junk. He is simply gaslighting. This is a gaslight session. That's it. And he is waiting for somebody to say something so he can make a mockery out of them. The difference is you don't hear nobody saying nothing directly because everybody's soft shoeing around it. The people who don't realize what's happening, they're like, oh, can you believe what Kanye said? Huh? And they'll question somebody, and then the person will be like, yeah, well, and they'll dance around the subject and never answer. Intelligence is on a spectrum. That's right. Yeah, I definitely feel like I am definitely a savant. I love it. I love intelligence. Listen, if intelligence was crack, I'll be strung out. Y'all be calling me Pookie, okay? I'll be like this, talking about, let me hold $1. How your mama name, girl? I love intellect. Aw, thank you, Marsha. She said, I love Natanya's love of God. I love God so much. I couldn't have done any of this without him. I could not. I really could not have done any of this without. I wouldn't even still be here and be of sound mind and body. Sis, I'm dropping a link. You coming up? Come on up here, sis. Hoo. Jag, I dropped the link. Y'all said Trump has another lackey. Who? Oh, did y'all hear that Steve Bannon is arrested? Baby, they went and took him into custody yesterday for an old case from the first Trump administration with bribery and all kinds of stuff. Yes, darling. Tuesday, former staff for West sued him, alleging fired her after calling her ugly and texting her. What? Oh, staffer is. Come on. Listen, let me tell you something. She is what she's trying to. Here's the thing. Now, I'm telling you, this. Listen, having a gift makes this awareness come into your knowing. It just takes you over. You come into an awareness and you go by vibrational frequencies. You can feel when something is legit or when something is booty. Where has she been all this time? I'm not one to say where you been, but all she's saying is he said things to her. Why wouldn't you tell that a long time ago? They made this man lose $400 million in one day, not that long ago. He went from billion down, and then he did his Sunday service and all that and went right back up to billionaire. Why didn't she say something? Why wait now? There was a whole bandwagon, a drum major for him. Why wait now? See, they sent her out here to say this because they know what he's doing. They know he got them backed against between a rock and a hard place. And they scared to come out and say something to him because then they'll look like hypocrites. So let's find some, oh, woe is her. He said this and that. I don't buy it. Me not believe it. I'm sorry. Holy Spirit got to tell me that it's the truth. Me not believe it. I don't believe it. It's too well timed. You mean to say this man called you all that? There you go, Salty Sage. And you get a gold star. Me no believe it. They sent her out there to deny and deflect all of the rage that Kanye is going to spew on them if they come against him for what he's saying. So they have to send somebody out there who looks like a sympathetic figure so that they could be like, well, look what he did to me. And then they could be like, oh, you did that to this woman. This is horrible. Garbage. Me no believe it. I don't believe it. Until the Holy Spirit move in my system and say, yep, 100%. And listen, you can't even tell me like, oh, he said it, because there was a time where we say, oh, look, I got this picture of him in the office saying it. Child, it might be AI. I don't trust that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It could very well be true. I am simply saying me, as a human living woman, me no believe it. Yeah, I'm giving out gold star. You get a star. You get a star. You get a star. The Eric Adams situation is crazy. Crazy. This man does not care, has abused his power and authority in New York. And first of all, listen, New York is my home state, but baby, anybody still living in New York, I feel sorry for y'all. That is going to be friggin' DEF CON 5 step. Y'all better get out of New York. I wouldn't listen, baby. I would not be. I wouldn't be living in New York. I wouldn't be caught with half a leg and one arm. Y'all better get out of that place. It is about to go. When this country collapses, you don't want to be in New York, baby. Me not trust it. I don't trust it at all. And that's my home state. I love that place. But you think I would be living there now? No way. No way. It's too much craziness going on. Here go my sis. What up, boo?
Great day, my sister. How are you?
I am fantastic, my love. How are you?
Well,
Um,
I'm great after I just read that comment in your chat saying that
which
they're
one?
thankful for you and I reminding them that God is the safest bet in the winning team,
Oh
and
my gosh.
this is why they're doing what they're doing to suppress us.
Yeah.
You
Listen,
know, they so-called found out where I was.
when
Did
this
a
happened
fool that Danny robot person, she
today,
decided to last night in the middle of the night.
what? Listen, you know whose time slot that is.
Oh, I know.
I have a theory that they're one and the same.
Hmm.
That's why one would always do videos in the middle of the night because you can't be in two places at one time.
That part.
I had a theory.
That
Are you
part.
serious?
Yeah.
So they supposedly or they did?
What they found is not our home,
Okay.
but the mistake that they made is that the person that they said verified that it was, we
Hmm.
know exactly who that is. And it could only really be one person. And it's a shame
That's so
because
messed up.
they will
You
use anyone.
First of all, you have the right to your privacy and you have the right to your safety. Anybody going so hard to find out where you live is that's a problem to me. That is an act of war and aggression. Why do you need to know?
Hey, I had a content creator that said that they were supposed to be sending us some gifts and items, and we gave them the PO box. I guess they really just wanted the home address.
I don't. I don't. I've been offered things by many people. I don't take any of it. I appreciate it, but just donate it to somebody on my behalf and tell them on behalf of the dopest nerd. I can't do it. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Did you see Diddy suing Peacock
Oh,
for the
interesting.
making of a?
Someone told the
Yeah.
and that's what somebody said. NBC is seeing suit. How
You want to know what's funny?
ain't that
They
something?
they mentioned I'll be sure, and they tried to line it up and make it seem like all of the things that were said by him, but the things that they were complaining about in that lawsuit were all of the
I
things that
know,
I
right?
said on the blue couch. All it did was corroborate what I'll be sure is saying.
Said
So my
before what he
question,
went through. Hmm.
no, but this is the thing. Even the Courtney Ariel other lawsuit,
Hmm.
even that with the News Nation, they they still didn't mention me. They mentioned Sean Atwood, but they still didn't mention me.
So why are they suing Peacock and not the one that did mine? What was their name again? Hulu? Who was it?
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
mean,
know,
but the truth is it's NBC, and NBC is a Peacock is a NBC entity.
yeah. Hmm.
It's funny. Wasn't the documentary you in? You were in? Who was what network was that?
That's what I was just saying. I because I didn't wrote that off. So what was it? Hulu? Yeah. Somebody tell me what was it on? I think it
It
was
was
Hulu.
on ID and it was
Oh,
on
ID.
Max.
I yes, Max. ID and Max.
Hmm.
Listen, you see how I out of sight, out of mind? When I'm over something, I be out of sight, out of mind. I mean
I
that.
understand.
I
I'm the
don't
same
think
way too.
listen, why haven't they brought that one up? Because they don't want to ruffle no, they don't want to ruffle no Natanya feathers.
Nope.
Did
And
you hear about
me,
the expansion of the superseding indictments in the case today?
yeah.
Lovely. I don't know. First and foremost, I don't appreciate what they're doing to you. You know my listen. I'm trying to be this child of God, this woman of God, but you know
I
my
know.
philosophy. You know my philosophy. I don't play about you. I roll these sleeves up, and I ain't even got to take no earrings off.
Vice versa. I feel the same way.
Not like
Oh,
it. I don't like it because I see the same tactics they using on you. They try to use on me. You know how many times people try to get my address since I've been on YouTube?
I
I
know.
never give it to anybody.
I know.
I don't.
But it's just wild that people aren't paying attention to the fact that the content creators that are doing all of this, what they're using is the same tactics that the police use when they use social media to investigate and collect evidence and put cases together. I'm
Well, I
just curious, since when do normal citizens do police work for the police?
listen. I have a theory that we have some police on YouTube. Me and you will
Oh, you
talk.
have a theory?
Oh, baby, I thought this a long time ago, months ago.
You want to know what's funny? I could tell you five of the content creators that are, and I could tell you 15 of the content creators that are confidential CIs allegedly working off their bad acts.
Oh, oh. Now let me tell you something.
Allegedly.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, especially if they're in the troll farm. That makes a what up, OD? That makes a lot of sense. But let me tell you something. I have a
Latanya
theory.
says hi, baby.
What up, bro? I have a theory on some cops on YouTube. I said this from back when I said they are very police-ish to me.
Very much so.
And I told it to Nirvana. I ain't gonna say it on here, me and you gonna talk offline, but baby, I said they so police to me. And to
Very
me,
much so.
for them to be content creators, they're so ill-advised about cultural things in the culture. I
Yeah.
told I mentioned certain things. There's like, oh really? Who's that? I was thinking to myself, what? This is so fundamentally black. What do you mean? Who's that?
Understand this. They get online
Very
pretending like they know things. But
copish.
what no one's paying attention to is the fact that they're being given all of their information. They're not finding
Absolutely.
anything, they're not
Well,
researching
you know they're
anything.
not finding anything because they don't know enough about the culture. That's how
Mm,
I say they're very. The one thing that I sat around, you know me, I like to wait a few days. I don't jump out and be the first one. As soon as a new topic come out, everybody jump and wants to do clickbait real quick. I like to
yeah.
sit back and wait because I want to take it in. I want to see
Mhm.
I want to see people's take on it and spin and narrative. And here's the one thing. Oh, somebody put CC content cops. You get a gold star, Helena.
That part.
Content cops. Yes, indeed, boo. But one thing I noticed that nobody was saying was, and I found it to be odd. That's why my thumbnail says, not only are they not like us, they don't know us.
At all.
So many people to not get what Kendrick was doing, it means they really don't know black people like they think they do. They
You
don't
want to
even
know what's worse than that? I was telling this when me and the mods were talking last night before I took my rest.
hmm
It was a Rorschach test.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
That performance was a Rorschach test.
hmm
You got to understand. And for
Yeah.
those who don't know what a Rorschach test is, it's those ink blots
It's
that
a
when they're
it's a
doing
psychological diagnostic tool to see what type of thinking you have.
exactly
Mhm.
to figure out how your mind is receiving information, how it's
Yep.
processing information, and how you manifest it in your head and in your actual life. What you see. Some people might see a butterfly, some people might see a monster. All of these things are psychological aids to let someone know how to either influence, control, or predict someone's behavior and thinking.
Yep.
That's exactly what that performance did. It
And it
was a
made
Rorschach test.
everybody tell on themselves. It was
Oh,
easy to
completely.
identify wherever everybody fell on the line.
Oh yeah. Oh
Identify.
yeah.
And
But
everybody told us,
for those who could not see
yep,
what was there, you should be worried about your mind.
yes, you should.
You
Yes,
should be very worried about your mind because if you couldn't see it, that means they can get you to believe anything.
listen, it already means that you are in line waiting for the mark of the beast. Because,
Yep.
baby, it was so flagrantly obvious. But you have to know some. See, it caused people to tell on themselves. They thought they ate by making their videos. What is this? It's the worst thing ever. It's so stupid. I don't understand it. You are telling mainstream society that you ain't got a clue. I realize that we oftentimes think when people focus on us so much that they got us, they understand us, they know us. They don't.
Oh,
They don't
oh,
have a, they made themselves so obviously not like us. They're so far from not like us, they don't even know us. And that
oh,
was the number one takeaway.
oh, absolutely.
Number one,
Absolutely.
tell on yourself.
Absolutely.
And the racism is blaring. Like you couldn't even, I mean, it was blaring.
Oh, I know.
And I
And
love
and then Mr. Carter putting up that triangle sign.
where on what
Oh,
on the
they
half.
caught him. Someone caught him on camera
Oh, I didn't
throwing
even
up
see it.
that symbol. They're being very careful.
See, I
Just
did.
like they're being very careful about the crowd who were there filming and putting stuff up.
Hmm.
You know, it kind of reminded me when Obama got booed.
Hmm.
Nobody played that. Did you notice that?
Well, see, here's the theory, because right now there's something going on. So Trump is suing for like 30 billion. He is trying to sue CBS because he
Okay.
said they edited an uh, a Kamala Harris interview to make her look better than he looked in his interview. However, it is journalists and news organizations have the right to edit their stuff. They have the right to edit their stuff how they see fit. He said nothing of the notion that Fox edited his interview when they asked him, "Are you going to release the JFK files?" He said, "Absolutely, yes." "Are you going to release the Martin Luther King files?" "Absolutely, yes. I'm going to declassify them." "Are you going to release the Epstein thing?" He was like, no, no, not really. There might be a lot of lies. I don't want to ruin anybody's like. No, I'm going to leave the Epstein stuff alone. They edited that part out. He's suing CBS because there's going to be a merger between Paramount and CBS, and they want to be able to acquire them. He is using his bully pulpit to say, if you want this merger to go through, one of his people is in charge of whether or not that merger gets to go through.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
so they said the woman who owns Paramount, an old white lady, is willing to pay the fine. She wants to make a settlement and pay Trump because she knows what she's going to get from that merger is going to be so much larger that she's willing to pay. They're allocating to him. Nobody wants to be on his bad side. This is dangerous. It's bad enough we were in the California fires. We are in such a major five-alarm fire right now. And all of that type of bully pulpit tactics makes it even worse. It makes the climate in America so much more dangerous, and people don't see it. So many people are presently in the sunken place and dropping rapidly, and they don't even realize they are.
But
People
see,
better
this is
sit
the
this down.
issue. This is the issue. And this is where it gets tricky. All that you're saying is right, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. It's done. It's already fixed. It's already set. I think the biggest problem that Americans are having a hard time grasping is the fact that it's already over. It's
Yeah,
already over.
I told him America has fallen. I did that like
It
three
is
posts ago, three
already
lives ago.
over already. We're now waiting for the body to drop. That's all we're waiting
For
for.
the total collapse. And here's the deal. It's going to be horrific before it ever gets better.
Oh, it
First of all,
has to be. But
first of all,
that's the way of it.
it's going to take, people think that it'll be over in 4 years. They
Oh
are
no.
clearly deluded and out of a rabbit A mind.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
will take 3 generations for us to get over everything that's being done right now. At least 3 generations. And I'm
Can I
telling
say
you,
something
sure.
profound? That's what it took for the Israelites to get out
Yep.
of the desert and into
Yep.
Canaan.
Yep. And
There is
remember,
nothing new under the sun. Everything
absolutely.
repeats.
And remember, every superpower nation has fallen except America. Every single one. And it is America's time. I said this when I first started the channel. Every superpower nation has fallen, and it's America's turn. It's unfortunate, and there will be so many casualties of war. There will be so many people that fall into the realm of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Collateral damage. And that's going to include some of you people that might be listening now, your children, your loved ones. Y'all got to get out the sunken place. People have to prepare to be able to have themselves some sort of means of protecting yourself. There is a show going on right now. It's called, I think it's called Paradise.
Uh-huh.
Seen that?
I've never seen it.
Y'all got to watch Paradise. Baby, watch Paradise. It's going to, it is end time stuff like for real right now. You're gonna be. They live in a. I said to myself when I, and I don't want to divulge all of it, but I said to myself when I saw the main character jogging down the street, I said, "Wow, what a utopian!" It looks almost like the Truman Show.
Exactly like the Truman
Oh
Show.
my God, when it all Paradise is amazing. LA Chick said, "Yes, Paradise is good."
Do you know what else a lot of
Everybody
people
ain't.
miss? There was another great HBO series that came and went. A lot of people didn't recognize it.
What
It
was it?
was called The Leftovers.
Oh, I watched The Leftovers. That was my joint.
And you want to know what's funny that everyone missed?
What was that?
That was what happens to the world after
Yep.
God claims his own. That was the marking of the beginning of the millennia before final judgment.
Not just the leftovers, the 2600. Did you ever watch that? The 2600? Y'all got to
Mhm.
go dig in the crates. Go watch the 2600. Is it 2600 or 2200? It's the number. I think it's 2600. Go watch the leftovers. Also, watch Under the Dome.
Oh, Under the
Maybe
Dome was
Under the
good.
honey. I try to tell people about Under the Dome. People don't be. I don't see people come back in the chats and be, yo. Under the Dome is a, it's a show, but trust me, it's more of a documentary. This is, and Under the Dome was filmed back in 20, like 2011, 2012, 2013.
Yeah,
Where they
yeah.
had all the rivers were running red, like it's happening right now. The 2400. Not Mojiji said the 2400, baby. And I tell you, that's my point right there. The leftovers, the 2400. Some people go back and watch Lost.
Yes.
Lost was letting us know something. Watch Manifest with the missing plane that came back 5 years later, talking about the time space continuum and and origin stories. And y'all got to get into these. Y'all got to get into these shows that telling you about where we are going to go or where we've been.
But sis, you said something really important a couple of minutes ago. You
What
know,
was,
that's the problem with two brilliant people talking. So
mhm.
many amazing things happen. We have to make sure we go back and tap the really important stuff.
What did I say?
That the NOW is here
Yes,
and people are going to have to choose. What side are you going to be on? You know, it says in Revelations, in the end times, those who truly follow the Almighty living God get out of the cities, get
that's
out
right.
of the system. Go to your rural places. Go to your high places. It says that.
Listen, not only does it say that, I've been telling people for the last couple of years, there is a 100% financing rural home, USDA rural home loan. They finance your home purchase 100%, but you got to buy it in a rural place. And rural only constitutes, I think the it has to have, the town has to have less than 240,000 people. So there's a lot of places that are considered the outer reaches of the suburbs in main cities that qualify. But I've been telling people, I literally sat down and watched a 5-hour training. The USDA or the USDA trained their own representatives how to help people fill out the home loan application. I watched it for 5 hours. My girlfriend came over and was like, "What you doing?" I was like, "I'm watching this training." She was like, "Oh, you got to do this training?" I said, "No, I'm just watching it." She was like, "What?" She was like, "Child, I'm out of here. I ain't got time for this." Y'all
Los
got
Angeles is about to become a smart city.
to listen, 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 listen. Everywhere where a smart city was, the directed energy weapons came down and poo poo and burnt up the place. California, uh, in Hawaii, North Carolina had some of it with what you call it, a whole everywhere where they're wrecking, those are going to be smart cities. You know what the next smart city is? Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all better watch out and prepare. You could go on and gang. I was gonna say, go on to what you got
There's no
started.
reason in the world
You
why
got started.
anyone should want to live in a city if they believe in God anymore.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Did you have you heard about the video that I was going over with Maggie? I don't know if Maggie watched it.
Which one?
There's a content creator here who's been under fire. They've been giving her a lot of hell, but she's been tracking all of the crashes. And you know there was just another one. I'm getting ready to get out. I'm coming
Who,
out.
who,
Let
who's
me sis, let me get out of here and I'm gonna hit you right back.
okay?
I'm gonna need you to drop that link again.
Oh, no doubt.
The
Well,
man, the man son
I
came
gotta
in
go
the
get
room.
Trusty
I
Dusty
gotta
Rhodes.
move around.
I gotta get
I'm
Trusty Dusty.
coming now. I'll see you in a second.
All right, baby. I gotta go get Vanna in a little while too, y'all. So I will jump back on afterwards. I'm gonna have her make a new thumbnail on the way home, and we're gonna jump back on because we got much to describe, much to discuss. I'm gonna tell you something. The 2400 manifest under the dome. There's a movie called Divergent. You should watch Divergent. It is all of these things are showing post-apocalyptic worlds and how life is going to be and what you should do in anticipation and what they'll be looking for. Divergent is such a great movie. It breaks people into delineations, into groups. The erudites are the incredibly intelligent, brilliant people. Listen, y'all need to watch these shows. You really got to. Yeah, I'm gonna check on Lock. Hopefully she should be. Yeah, you see Mojiji, you watch Divergent. The one. Let me tell you, 145,000. Yes. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There is a lot of good stuff out there. Y'all need to get up on. But one of the things I always say, the outer limits, the 90s outer limits, baby. The outer limits is going to blow your mind. So will Under the Dome. So will Divergent. There's a whole lot of things. I'm trying to prepare y'all. This comfy, cozy life that we live in now, that everybody thinks is just gonna be regular, run of the mill. Go to the club on Saturday. Let's go to the movies. Y'all want to go out to the hibachi and all that. All that's gonna be gone. Y'all think it's not, but I'm telling you, it is not gonna be what you think. I'm telling you. Pay attention, guys. Hunger Games, absolutely. Oh, baby, the Hunger Games, baby, so good. So good. I remember when my niece and my son kept telling me about it, and I was like, I don't think that's going to be something I want to watch. And then I watched the Hunger Games and I was hooked. Watched them all. There is a message. Everything is not just a show. Some things are like a documentary. And then, of course, find the movie They Live. Shout out to Masai for the super sticker. I love you, my dear. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. And guys, continue to support the show. You guys know this is my job. It's hard for me to go out. I cannot leave Nirvana in this house by herself when she's not at school to go work at anybody's job. I don't trust it. Like, even just you hear the walking upstairs. Of course, it's quiet. Oh, Logan's Run, absolutely. And Soylent Green. For y'all that still eat fast food like McDonald's and all that, please watch Soylent Green. You're not going to be pleased when you watch it. But watch Soylent Green. And The Matrix. Yeah, there's people that still haven't seen The Matrix. These are the things we got to, matter of fact, we're going to do a viewing party. I'm going to start viewing some of the, when I come back today, what I'm going to do is I am going to screen I Am Q Hef, either Dre OG or I Am Q Hef or Right 7X. I'm going to screen one of their shows, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to stop it intermittently, and we're going to talk about it. Baby, we got so much. There's so much for y'all to learn, and I love. It's funny. Years ago, I had a homeboy. His name is Timothy Marshall. His father was the headmaster of the school my little sister used to go to, and I promise you, so many people used to be like, you should be a teacher. They tried to recruit me to be a teacher. You need to, The Handmaid's Tale is my joint. All y'all strong women that's like, I can do what I want. Y'all watch The Handmaid's Tale, boo. They got a plan for us. And if you don't know, if a very wise man, his name is Jacques, used to say, I used to work with him, those who fail to plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. And baby, if you plan to fail, they have a friggin' plan for you. You just don't know. What you said, you hooked on I Am Q Hef? Yes, Sam. Yes, baby. How fantastic is it? Absolutely. Jason A. Sam said, I would like to suggest Jason A on YouTube for those who follow Christ. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to screen I Am Q Hef later. I got something to show y'all. Either I Am Q Hef or Dre OG, Right 7X, maybe even Perky. Perky is good, but Perky is young. So her perspectives on a lot of things are sometimes, and I'm not judging her. She's young, so she only has this spectrum of which she can judge things by based on her experience. But maybe. So her perspectives are a little juvenile to me. And she doesn't always get it right, but I love what she's doing. I love Perky, and I love that she's doing this work. But we're going to screen I Am Q Hef or one of the guys today. I want y'all to see this firsthand stuff. There's a whole world outside that most people are not abreast of, and I need y'all to understand what's taking place out in these streets. I really do. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And somebody else is going to make the plan for your life, and it might not comport with what you want for you or your kids. So absolutely. I'm going to have all those things. Like I said, we're working on the website, so you're going to see all those things on the website. But in the meanwhile, guys, I shall return. You guys go grab a bite to eat. Circle back. I'll be back soon as I get the trusty dusty. Until we meet again, God willing. See you soon, guys.